Hello, everyone. Welcome back to session 10. Fantastic. Last time, can anyone tell me where we ended up? Anything of note that came up last session? And as a reminder as well, each of you have a hero point that you earned from cleansing the well. Veridan, you got it vicariously. So basically, since you weren't here last time, when we got the hero points initially, they were basically oh no, I'm going to turn this suck into I'm going to do something super cool moment.
Reroll?
Not a reroll, it just happens.
Okay.
Inspiration is a reroll, which is already in the thing.
Okay.
But hero points are even more epic than that. Like a dragon bites you, you fail a saving throw, and a reroll won't do it. You're like, I heroically dodge out of the way, or punch it in the tooth, or something like that. That's what a hero point's for.
Got it. All right.
That reminds me, I do. Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just remember that we rested early in the evening, so that way we could wake up at like in the middle of the night to sneak into the tower. Remember that much.
That's right. And
the most notable thing was that Verdan arrived.
Yeah.
I remember Verdan being flung about the space. I remember him failing to light a fire, even though that's his jam. So I do recall Verdan making his debut with our crack squad here, and it was a rough fight, but we got through it.
And I remember Arnu encountered a wraith at the well, didn't she? While we were fighting, there was a poltergeist inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we agreed at the end after the fight we were going to pretend it was still haunted, so we had somewhere to go back to as a base.
Right, that hasn't come up yet, but I didn't write that down, so hopefully someone did.
I think it was who was it? It was either Valentil or was it you, Valentil, who sort of suggested that, or I can't remember.
Might have been. I think we were going to leave like a message or something on there to say like don't come in or whatever, but we couldn't find any suitable writing utensils or something. We were just like, screw it, nobody's going to show up anyway. But
yeah, it was too much work.
And the house was pretty much wrecked.
Oh yeah, lit on fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Afterwards, yes, that's right. Verdan was able to finally light something on fire and turned it into ash, I believe.
Even though, just as you walked away, spontaneously combusted.
I claimed I did it. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh, and we did purge. We went and visited my friend who had a necklace on that was holding the extreme rot blight effects at bay. He gave it to me before he turned into a puddle. We had to incinerate him or destroy him. Then we had to incinerate the body. Well, we tried to incinerate the body, but we just kind of mangled it. And I gave the necklace to Arnu, figuring she'd be the first one in and probably most likely to be exposed to the rot blight. So, yeah. And the egg, we believe the egg is in the tower. That's why we're going to the tower.
Awesome. So it is around 11:30 at night now when everyone wakes up, and there's not many people left in the tavern. And as you get ready to head off to the wizard's tower, you descend down the stairs. Fabriel is down there in the tavern, and he hails you over, Valentil, as you walk down. He's like, "Up so late, Valentil? Where are you going at this time of night? Come, sit down. I want to have a chat."
I would love to have a chat. Unfortunately, I have a very finicky digestive system. Oh boy, and I need to get far away from humanity before this thing just ruins everybody's night. So I appreciate it, sir. I will get back with you hopefully first thing in the morning, sir. To be sure.
Your lame excuse dictates that this is important. So we will talk in the morning.
You'll thank me. Sorry, you'll thank me.
All right. And so you head off to the wizard's tower.
Nailed it.
And you were doing it at night, I believe, to make sure you weren't followed. If I remember correctly, that was the plan. So if you want to try and be stealthy, you can take a look around and deal with the situation. So take a look around, see if there's anyone following you, or you can just try and be stealthy by making a stealth check. But I'll leave that up to you. What do you want to do about? How you want to deal with that little problem?
Well, we could do all of it, right? Make a stealth check, be stealthy, and make sure we're be observant.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do all the things.
Do all of the things. All right. All right. So the tavern was just a place setter. So let me pull up the overmap. Oh, it's always the first one, but I never look there. Oh boy. Okay. There we go. So everyone's over here. Just get rid of Rhino because he's not here. Well, he is, but isn't. He's waiting to be escorted to the beach.
He's gone but not forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten.
Well, until we forget about him. Which might happen.
Exactly. All right. So I think custom. Okay. So yeah, who's making a stealth check and who wants to look out, keep an eye on things? It's gonna be both.
So I have a decent.
Stealth.
You want to do? I've got a +4 to stealth, so I have a decent shot at it, but I'm more than willing to.
I'm happy to
Well,
just keep
plus-
an eye on
plus
things
five,
because I've only got +2 on my stealth check, so I'm happy to just keep an eye on things.
I mean, I have +4
I've
for
got
perception.
+5.
Not bad.
All right.
Got
Go-
+1
go.
in stealth.
All right. So you. All right. So you're gonna see if there's anyone as you walk following you by being perceptive. So go ahead and then who wants to make a perception check?
Verdan, you said you had good
Yeah,
perception.
+4.
Oh yeah. Observe the crap out of it.
I got 13. I think I've got +4 as well. So let's just have a check.
I got 13
Yeah, I've got
as well.
+4, so that's fine. So we're on equal footing there.
Alrighty. So as you walk towards the tower, the only thing you catch a glimpse of, because your eyes kind of go in the direction where you know there have been people previously, and you don't see the warlock Leistine and the shield maiden Fury sitting at the west gate at this time as you walk, even though they've been there plenty of times before. And no one else appears to be in the town as you make your way to the tower. They all seem to be either in the longhouse or in the tavern, or possibly in one of the few remaining homes that are still inhabited or intact.
All right.
And
So,
go ahead.
well, no. Finish and I'll interject if. Yeah.
So you make your way basically to the wizard's tower without noticing anyone following you.
What I was going to say, as we get close, if one of us wants to, and I can do it if nobody else wants to, kind of circle around the tower maybe very, very slowly so that there's a chance of coming back. So everybody else kind of goes in and we just have one person come back around just in case we are being followed. We haven't seen anything. We can take them by surprise or just see if anybody else has shown up and done whatever instead of just taking it for granted. I mean, there's all kinds of creepy invisible things, and there's a guy named the Overseer, for crying the heck out loud. So the idea that we got here completely unobserved is a bit, unless word spread about my constitution, and in which case the people are wise to be far, far away.
Right. Yes, the observer,
Yes.
as you called. Overseer is a Fallout character.
Well, yeah. Well, of course, but I don't have knowledge of another universe, so I'm just making up
Right.
words that I think suit. Huh.
The universe is going to fall apart otherwise. All right, so you all reach the tower door, and you all, well, I don't know if Verdan would necessarily know, but the rest of you know what the password is.
Go ahead,
and
Arnu.
it would be crew me. Just in case one was forgotten. It is in the session notes. So yeah, crew me is the password. So the door opens, and that until you intrinsically know enough about magic to know that the suppression of the arcane lock on the door itself is only suppressed for an entire minute, and not much longer. So if you're going to do a check around, it's good enough to also see if there's anyone there, and also reasonable enough deterrent if anyone were to try and sneak in, because it's only a minute. So lingering out there to the last possible moment and then going inside is a very wise way to avoid anyone coming in.
As I thought, exactly my thoughts. I've got all this right up here. Yeah, so that's
All right.
Yep.
So who's speaking the password? And how is it being spoken?
well, whoever does it very quietly. Whoever does it, I'm sure.
It might need to
Just
be.
whisper.
I was just thinking, does it have to be? It depends whether it is linked to his voice, doesn't it? So it might have to be a male voice. Well, not. We don't know what his voice sounds like, but I'm just wondering.
Voice recognition software.
Yeah, it could be. You never know. That'd be just our luck.
Well, if he has a very manly, powerful, compelling voice, then I should be able to mimic it just fine.
All right. So go ahead and you all cast magic. So you basically can think about this. Everyone can make an Arcana check real quick. Oh, 25 isn't terrible at all. And I heard
19 here.
there. Yeah, we'll go with the 25. So the 25,
I only got 12.
that's all right. With a 25, you know that the password isn't necessarily voice recognition. It's not related to any voice recognition, but it is related to pit. So whispering it likely won't activate it, but nor would shouting. Just a normal speaking voice should open it, no problem. So I guess
who wants to do it? Verdan wouldn't know the password, so he's not going to do it.
all right, so I guess so Valentil offered to speak the password.
Yep.
All right. The floor is yours.
Valentil recalls very briefly in his memory what that word is.
Through me.
Krumi.
There you go.
As soon as I heard, I was like, it's like Sumi, but with a K. But then I totally forgot about it.
Yeah. So the door opens, and it actually doesn't turn inwards. The doors kind of go outwards. So if you're standing too close, it'll hit you in the face. And then the rest of you go in, except the person who wants to linger outside for a moment. Sounded like Valentil offered to do that as well.
Yeah, I'm doing all the heavy lifting here today.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily need to encircle the entire tower, but you can definitely stay outside the front.
Okay.
To make sure no one comes in, you check your quote watch after 58 seconds come in. 58 seconds pass, and then you go in to the tower. And then we pull up the map here. No one seemed to follow you because of the brilliant plan of staying outside. If there was even anyone there in the first place.
Oh, I sensed there was someone there, but they saw how smart we were, and they decided to back off. That's headcanon.
I feel like Valentil has a lot of that.
It does. It's a very busy brain. It's 600 years old. It's got a lot of going on there.
600? 745?
At least 600 years old. See, I can't even remember how old I am. It's been that. There's so much brilliance
good day.
overflowing.
That would probably be an actual fact.
Said
Right.
on a good day, you're
On a good
600.
day. Right.
Okay. So you enter the tower. So this is just a general tower, wizard's tower map kind of looking battle map. from one of my books. So it's not going to be 100% accurate to the layout of this particular tower, but it does enough just fine to help set the scene. So, walking into the wizard's tower and looking around, you see that right in the middle of the front room is going to be the fireplace. And in front of the fireplace is a single chair with a very small. Let me get the drawing tool. Because I find when things are being explained and you visually do something as things are being explained, they tend to be easier to follow. So, in the central room is the fireplace. You can see that nice and glowy there. There is, you're going to witness my beautiful art skills, a chair in the middle of the room with a small little end table basically beside the chair. To the right of the fireplace is an island, essentially, a place to prepare food, because it seems like that this fireplace is the closest thing to a kitchen that this tower seems to have. On the right-hand side, there are 2 double stacks of bookshelves. Many of the spines, different colors of reds, blues, grays, browns, blacks, creating many different colors on the wall. And you notice on the right bookshelf, the upper shelf seems to be only half full, as there's lots of room to include many more books. You notice on the far right corner of the room is a bed with a very small end table over there. And you notice on the left-hand side of the room is a very large cupboard with, you can see some dried onions, and other dried food bits over there. That seems to be the pantry. And then pretend that this stonework on the side is actually the spiral staircase, because that spiral staircase within this space doesn't start in the middle. It wraps around the outside of the tower, the outside of the interior of the wizard's tower. And as you look up, you see the ceiling above you that is presumably the floor of the second floor in the middle of the room, and then the spiral staircase continues on upwards from there. Am I missing anything?
Does the chair not have an ottoman?
No ottoman for the chair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty dicey.
Many bookshelves and tomes. General features. And the air inside is cold and slightly dusty. You definitely can see from here that the fireplace is cold. Cold wood and ash within. And that is what you see in the first floor.
Well, because it went so well last time, Verdan, you want to light a fire? From a distance? I'm sure there's not going to be no Atronach that comes out.
I don't know. I don't know if I trust that anymore. But sure. I'll shoot a firebolt cantrip at it. Will that be enough?
Okay, roll
that. All right.
Don't hit the chair. It's an antique.
Oh yes, and I forgot to mention. Above the fireplace is a taxidermied horned raven, which, if I remember from last time, they're about the size of a condor, with little horns that extend backwards like a goat's horns. So there's a taxidermied version of that kind of on the wall in flight. So a very large bird.
15.
So you launch this firebolt straight towards the hearth, and it hits, but there's no fuel. So nothing lights. But nothing. It doesn't spontaneously light up. The whole tower doesn't light on fire spontaneously. This seems to just be a normal fireplace with just no fuel to light in there.
Sorry, fellas, can't do much without, any firewood.
Now, to the left of the hearth, you do see a stack of dried firewood.
All right. Now I'm going to try. I walk over to the pile of firewood, throw a few pieces in the fireplace, step back. Give it another try, Verdan. That might be better off this time.
Firewood. You don't need to roll the hit this time. Yeah,
I did better, though.
Yeah, you definitely did better. All right, and the fire lights up, and you get it going within a few minutes. and it illuminates only as much as you can see on the map here. There are torch sconces around the room as well, so you can easily light those by taking a stick from the fire or using some cantrip. I'm pretty sure, Verdan, you have other fire-related cantrips that you could easily light the torches with. And the whole room kind of lights up as you see now. So there's no need for interior lighting, because it would be very dark in here as it is nighttime. But now you can properly see the bookshelves and the rest of the details in the room.
And
Technically,
can we like examine the bookshelves?
yeah, absolutely. Technically, you wouldn't have been able to see any of this because it was too dark. But you lit the fire and see everything I described. Anyways, it's just easier to do it that way.
Okay.
Big brain right here. Big brain.
Oh yeah, yeah, I have that for sure. Yeah. All right, so
Well, I do have a light cantrip as well, so I could have cast that
good.
if needed.
You probably would have done that immediately too. So see
Yeah.
everything. All right, so walking over to first floor bookshelf, middle bookshelf, spellbooks. Okay, so you walk over to the bookshelf. Are you looking for anything in particular over there, or just taking a big general scan?
Yeah, just kind of scanning to see if I maybe notice anything unusual.
Okay. If you're just scanning the tomes real quickly, just to kind of see what you see, that'd be perception. If you're looking for a specific type of book related to any kind of experience you may have had thus far, that would be investigation.
I'll do investigation then.
All right. What kind of book you looking for? Anything out of the ordinary? Fire magic?
Yeah, or maybe like a journal that he would probably take, because if he's another wizard, he probably has like notes if he has any kind of information on the dragon egg.
All right. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Could he also be looking for like little levers or something, just in case it's a fake bookshelf or a movable bookshelf and there's a passageway behind it or something?
For sure. You can do that as well. You're looking for
Yeah.
a different thing, so you can both roll investigation checks separately.
Okay.
Tinran Arnu, what are you doing?
Well, I was kind of thinking along similar lines to Valentil, except that I was wondering if where it supposedly looks like there's nothing on the bookcase, there might actually be an invisibility thing. So maybe just feeling to see if there's any books where it looks like there's nothing.
All right. We'll get to that in a moment. And Arnu?
I might check. You said there was a bedside table. That's got
There
any
is.
drawers to see if there's anything in there.
Yeah, there is your beautiful drawing skills. You can see that the thing with the dot is the end table at the far end of the right side of the room.
Yeah.
These are the bookshelves here, so you can head on over there.
Are they purposely crooked?
It's my
Why are they
amazing drawing. What are you talking about? They're straight.
Oh.
Perfectly.
No, yeah, no. Absolutely. I'll just in post, I'll just twist the image to suit the illusion.
I don't draw with my mouse very well. So they're not supposed to be crooked. All right.
I said nothing.
Oh, and there's also a ladder on the left-hand side of the bookshelf to climb up to the upper shelves if you need to, because the upper shelves just out of reach are where the empty space is. Right,
I can't picture this. Can you draw the ladder?
Yeah, sure.
I'm kidding.
My drawing tool here, and I will draw a beautiful ladder. Oh, it's a bit longer than I anticipated. Oh well. There's your beautiful ladder there.
Well, at least it's not a circle. Looks good.
Excellent. So yeah, there's a ladder on the side there. So we'll start with Verdan. What was your investigation check?
20.
20.
Nice.
With a 20, you can see that a lot of the tomes, if you were to take any of them off, most of them are fiction or non-fiction books, but there is a particular section on the bottom right-hand bookshelf where you notice there's a number of spell tomes. And mostly these spell tomes focus on abjuration and ice magic. So it is safe to assume that, well, you already know that Archwizard Raven is an abjure wizard. He specializes in abjuration or defensive magic, wards and that kind of stuff. But his elemental focus where we have Valentiel as lightning and Verdun as fire. Raven is cold, frost, ice, that kind of stuff. So you see a lot of
Loser.
tombs. Yes, exactly. You see a lot of tomes related to that kind of magic, but you notice that some of them are very old copies of spell tomes. They're not like re-release copies of old books. They are indeed ancient tomes or vintage tomes. If you open up and try and read some of the dates on them, some of them are a century old, some of them are 200 years old, some of them are a little bit longer. And whether or not Flavin has amassed these over the years, or these are original copies he had, he could either be old, which Valentiel you would maybe suspect he'd be an old wizard here for a long time, given the nature of the tomes here, especially in the condition, even though they're old, they have some dust on them, but they're well maintained. But with a 20, and the DC was 18 to find this, you do see one tome that sticks out in particular. You didn't find the journal you were after, but you do find a book on necromancy. Just a single tome on necromancy. Specifically related to communication with the dead and phantoms and ghosts and that kind of stuff. And that's what you notice with the tomes. Valentiel, what was your check to look for any trapped or secret levers?
Was it perception or
Investigation.
investigation? It was a 10.
Just 10. So you don't find any false books that you can pull out to release a mechanism that would open a shelf back here, a secret door. You walk around to the behind the bookshelf to see if you can feel any draft coming in from the outside or a secret room, and you don't find anything of that nature here.
Okay.
Tinra, you were feeling for any invisible books here with the shelf, so you would have to get on the ladder and climb up. And these are just empty shelves. So no traps
Okay.
on the bookshelf.
Can I also check around in case I can find something that Valentiel maybe didn't, in terms of secret levers and stuff as well?
Sure. Go ahead and
What
make
was
an
the check for that
investigation.
again? Investigation. Okay.
Among the tomes on the shelf as well, you do notice a brief history of Varheim. So a little bit about the culture here, the Vilcor people, their culture, their beliefs. So a lot of talk on the, if you were to flip open a book, we'll say you notice a section on the 7 realms. This one being Varheim, but we also have, let's see if I can remember them all. You have Jofheim, the realm of the elves. I have it written down. Why am I making myself do this?
Do you like to torture us with these long names?
With no vowels.
No vowels. You have Jofheim. It's actually using some of their older names. It's at the Jofheim, but it's up to, so we go with Jofheimer, Iselheimer, Winderheimer, Varheimer, Stornheimer, Helheimer, and Elderheimer. You don't have to remember these names, but those are the 7 realms. Jofheim, realm of the elves, Iselheim, realm of the giants, Winderheim, realm of the gods, the Aesir, essentially. Not exactly gods, but similar nature. Varheimer, which is realm of the mortals, Thornheimer, realm of the dwarves, Helheimer, realm of the dead, and Elderheimer, realm of fire and fire giants. So, brief history of Varheim here.
There was no mention of this alternative reality that the what's her name's unconscious and her soul is stuck in, and
No,
potentially the
there's
wizard, Archwizard is as well.
your passive. Oh yeah. So Theodla is definitely trapped within her subconscious, and her part of her soul is in a new orb. So there's definitely, there doesn't seem to be an actual realm per se that exists outside of the.
Okay, that was kind of my
outside of
question.
Yeah.
in a roundabout way was whether or not the one of those realms was reflected in the orb, but it's obviously a separate environment of its own.
Separate environment of his own, which is very intriguing. It also mentions Yggdrasil, which connects all these realms together with its roots, and it's the great world tree. Classic stuff. And what was your investigation, Tinra?
It was 17.
Okay.
I don't
Again,
get any pluses on it.
17 is still good. Walking around the other side of the bookshelf as well, you notice no false books, levers, or drafts coming from behind the bookshelf. So this just seems to be a very tall collection of knowledge. With no hidden compartments here. I will say with that investigation as well, you look around other parts of the room, there's no door that leads to a basement. So this seems to be the first floor of however many there are. No basement in this place. So
Before we continue, I want to know. These are very old, like very well maintained spell tomes. Probably would be worth a good amount of money, right?
Mm.
you want to take from the Archwizard?
Verdan the Vandal.
I think I would. Yeah, would like to take some of that.
Wouldn't it be best to keep any theft for on the way out rather than carting a heavy a lot of times around if we have to scarper?
Sounds like the voice of experience. Apparently, I'm here with a bunch of felons. Fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
fair
I'm
enough.
not
that's
disagreeing.
just-
We can
that's just
take
me
that stuff
actually-
on the way out.
Yeah, that's just me kind of deflecting him for now in the hope that he forgets, actually.
You said the quiet part out loud.
He might
cannot-
forget.
Just out of curiosity, how long we in real world time? How long have we been here now?
10, 15 minutes?
Before we move out of the room, is the magic of a way that I can crack open the door and take a peek outside?
Yes.
I just have a feeling when we leave the building, there's going to be a party waiting for us, and I'm trying to perhaps get, just see if there's anything stirring outside. You know, I have to spend 15 minutes. Maybe they're just waiting for us to let our guard down.
For sure. Where did it go? Oh, I think I lost it. Okay, that's fine. I remember a little bit of it. So you open the door by speaking the password again, and the doors can be opened if you like.
Yeah.
You can even peek a little.
Yeah.
Little peek.
just enough to go. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So outside of the tower, you see a figure wearing chainmail decorated in raven's feathers. It's very dark, but I think you might have dark vision. I think so. Can't remember.
Sounds like something an elf would have.
It does. Elves and dwarves should have it, and I can't remember, which is fine. So we'll just say you see it for this moment, anyways, even if you don't have it. You see a figure dressed in chainmail that's decorated in black raven's feathers. You see your shoulder length, just past the shoulder length, black hair hanging past your shoulders. And I don't know where your proficiencies and stuff is and senses, so we're going to ignore that. Under character feed, it's got to be somewhere. That's fine. And this figure is one you recognize. Her sword is kind of resting on her side.
Oh, it's
unsheathed. And you recognize Earlscone or Rufina standing outside of the tower. And at first glance, she's not really looking at you, but as soon as she hears the door open just slightly, her head kind of slowly looks up at you. I'm just laughing at Janice's reaction. Did you find it? No, I don't want to fight them. Give it here. No! And she drops to one knee as she seems to be fighting the enchantment you suspect she has. You have a few moments to do anything. and the door is open for a minute. As she starts to stumble towards you.
The group. We need a name for our group. Assemble. There's nefarious work afoot here. Our favorite person has come to sort of fight us, sort of not fight us. And I think we need to get this settled before we do anything else. Either that or at least 3 of us. And while the other 2 maybe check. But either way, we've got enemy at the gates.
Did we try to grab him and bring him in so that we don't attract any attention from anyone else?
She'll probably run in here. We don't have to. I think if we want to bring her here, I could just call her a name or something and all right. Your horse is dumb, and it looks it's the worst horse ever, and it's got a cheesy name. Nah. And I step back inside the door, but I leave it open.
Confusing Blotha with Ravina. It's okay.
We're talking about the Jarl, aren't we? We're
no!
talking about the Jarl. That's why she's got raven feathers. That's why I sat here laughing.
Right, I thought she maybe was decked out in something else. Okay.
The one who we think might be affected by rot blight. So do we really want her in the and something's wrong with her memory? Do we really want her in the place of us?
Well, Rantil took a very long-winded way of saying danger is near. That the Jarl Skona is going to push her way in to the building. And Valentil, I need a contested strength of athletics checks or acrobatics check from you. Well, acrobatics would be to dodge. So if you want to stop her, athletics.
Well, I think we know. Oh, I've got +0 for athletics. Oh, screw me. Okay, all right, here we go. This is the real roll, Valentil. This is the big one that you've been building up for. You can't be out-muscled by a freaking raven wearing... That didn't land in the tray, but I'm going to count it anyway. Just remember that 8 rhymes with great, as in great strength and great fortitude. So just bear that in mind when you factor in that I got an 8.
All right, so I rolled a natural 18 on the dice, so plus stuff will be definitely enough to overpower the super strong Valentil.
She's taller than me! She's so much taller than me! Oh, gosh.
Now, she doesn't take a swing at you. She just kind of uses her arm to try to push you out of the way without a second thought. Brushed aside, stiff-armed. And she is now inside the wizard's tower, and she still is stumbling towards you. It's like, oh, you will not leave this place. No, I can't hurt them. Not anymore.
Who are you warring with?
You.
No. The other you. Who are you warring with?
And she's getting more and more agitated as the longer she is fighting the enchantment. So you have a few moments to do something. She doesn't respond to your second query. And you have a couple moments to do something to help her condition, or she's going to start swinging.
Does anybody know how to help someone fight an enchantment? Is it? Do we sing Kumbaya? Do we give her a pat on the back? Do we give her some alcohol? What do we do? Anybody?
I was going to suggest hold person, but as I haven't changed my spells, it would be a little bit of a cheat to say that now. I haven't changed my spells yet. So we can't use hold person, but we'll bear it in mind for the future. I'm just wondering, I've got a blessing thing, whether that will do anything. Depends whether she's under a curse or not.
Let's incapacitate her then.
Let's have a look.
I was going to say, is someone strong enough to just knock her out?
Yeah, that's...
I can bless up to 3 creatures, and that when a target makes an attack on them, I'm not quite sure how that works.
Let's see.
Arnu, be gentle.
We're not very big on strength in this group.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm remarkably weak.
It was a bad roll.
I will allow, since you don't have access to greater restoration, Tinra, I will allow if you want to try and remove the enchantment from her using lesser restoration.
Yeah, I could give that a go.
I'll have you make an Arcana check. Sorry.
That's
correction.
Okay.
I'll have you make a check using your spellcasting ability, which is your wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay, let's have a look. That's +4, isn't it? That's the D20 there. 14 plus 4, that's 18.
Okay, the DC was
Is that
15.
good enough?
Nice.
Yep. So with the DC of 15, with an 18 beating that, of course, the mighty Tinra manages to use her magic beyond her normal capabilities. So I'll have you mark 2. So it's
Two spell
it's technically
slots
a level
for
5 spell. So I'll make you have you mark off an extra level 2 spell slot to achieve this.
Okay, so if I click on casting Lesser Restoration and then put it down twice.
Yeah.
Basically.
With the check, you manage to push Lesser Restoration beyond its normal limits, and
Yeah,
are
I've
able
done 2
to
slots, so that's fine.
cure the charmed condition off of Ravina. And she drops to her knees in a big sigh and just kind of hangs out there for a little bit. Drops her sword on the ground as it clanks on the wood.
Let's just move it to one side in case until we know she's definitely okay.
Yeah, so I'll go, and I guess we're about eye level now with her dropped on her knees. And I was say, are you all right? Are you feeling more like yourself at the moment?
She rubs her hand on her face. Oh, it is like a heavy burden has been lifted from my shoulders. My mind is my onica. Thank you, Kinda.
How long have you been fighting this evil influence on you?
I've had moments of clarity over the past little while, but it's hard to say exactly how long. What I know is started roughly. He's gonna make an intelligence check. It could have been a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's hard to know.
And what was the compelling force that was saying that we have to die? Is it just because you hate strapping dwarves and our cadre of people, or were you hating people that were going after the egg? What was the why were you being told to fight us or try to kill us?
I don't know who was telling me to. I can't remember. Only that he wished you gone.
Right. Was it just, oh, these people here, or because we were doing something? Not who it was, but why? Was it just our appearance, or was it our encroachment upon the egg?
I think it was just you in general.
Ouch.
Your group.
Oh, my people, eh?
I wanted to ask, did the voice get you to send people after us to attack us when we left the town the first time?
No, that was not my doing. I don't think. No, I don't
Do you
think
know
so.
if the voice was a male or female voice, out of interest?
It was the only. Well, that's clear to me. The only thing is, it's a male voice.
Does it sound in the least bit familiar, or was it like a stranger's voice?
To me, it sounds like a stranger. A very low, guttural voice.
Were you telling us the truth about the egg being here?
Oh, the egg is not here. At least I don't think so. Maybe it is.
So where is it?
I can't remember where it is. Oh, this is not it. Well, it's either here or in the longhouse.
Well,
Why were you looking for the egg again? Why did you? I don't remember that. I don't.
We just wanted to get eyes on it, because before we're going to risk our necks and everything, we just wanted to make sure the egg was intact and it was in good shape and was well taken care of, and certainly in no danger of being pilfered by some unruly folk.
See. Well, you best search here then, because I don't remember where it is.
Well,
I will
good.
remain here unless you speak the password and let me out. Otherwise, if you still don't trust me enough, I understand. I will wait in the foyer.
I think we'd like you. Can we not keep you here, because otherwise, if you go out, whoever it was who cast this influence on you, they might try again. It might be safer for you to stay in our company for now.
Alright. Well, you may take my sword if you wish, as a sign of good faith.
Oh, I thought you meant okay. No. Yeah, I'd be okay with her keeping it. I would just say maybe you go at the front. You see, you got that fine raven armor there. I think you would be uniquely qualified to handle any kind of surprises we might encounter on the way.
All right. So is she keeping the sword, or are you taking it?
I'm okay with letting her keep it. I don't think she's going to turn on us. And
I think we let her keep it.
As a show of our good faith, you see.
She nods.
Personally, I'd say no, but the whole group is saying yes. So Verdun doesn't trust that easy.
Right. Well, she bends down to pick up her sword with a nod of recognition and reciprocity, and she will put the sword back in her sheath on her side. And she will then, let's see. No, she's probably in the mood to just lean against the door and sit there, rather than use the chair. So she will kind of sit there, and she kind of rests her eyes, because you can tell, even with your passive medicine, especially you, Tinra, with your wisdom there, your insight, that she is, because your passive insight is 16, you can see she's quite tired and exhausted.
Probably whatever influence was on her is draining her life force, perhaps. Have we checked everything in the room now? Has anyone looked under the bed? I mean, traditionally there's always something under the bed, isn't there?
I need to resolve Arnu's investigation. Because got interrupted. But the door is now sealed. And Arnu, you find inside the drawer, the end table, you find a journal.
Oh.
And I would like to actually show you the spelling of this, but that will be another time. Maybe it's in the session notes. But you see, written on the inside cover is Viola, but how she actually spells her name, with weird symbols and other stuff. You see her name written down in verse and also in Vordic runes as well. So you have both there. And this seems to be Thiola's or Theotla's journal.
Right. Can I understand anything she's written in it and what the journal says?
For sure.
Just sort of flick through it.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
to
can
the last
absolutely.
page, see if the last one.
Yeah, you can do the last page. You can do first, second page. You can do get a timeline of events that from her perspective over the past little while if you want, or you can go right to the final page if you like.
Might start with the final page just to see the last entry.
Final
TLDR.
Well, not necessarily. All right. So you see the final entry, you scroll to the very end of the book, nothing there, but you kind of scroll to where the last entry is within the book, entry 14. Nope, that is the wrong person. Final entry. There we go. The wind burden is leaden today. The sky eyes will behold a meeting between Seeker and Stormcaller. The sky breath is baited, but a raven wing hangs over the gathering. She repeats again. The sky breath is baited, and a hell breeze that seeks to twist and corrupt. I fear this meeting will not bring the solace sought, but rather usher in a new chapter of sorrow. Tonight, the wind song sings like cracking ice. She speaks in kennings.
Are you reading this out loud, or are you Arnu, are you reading it out loud, or are you just reading it to yourself for the time? Do we hear any of this or not yet?
I think I'm probably reading that by myself, but then just kind of it across, sort of saying, does anyone else understand what the hell this means? I don't know.
I think she was commenting on
poetry. I don't get it.
the dourness of our existence, the futility of struggle, and the prevalence of love and life and happiness, I believe, were the themes there. What was the word before the fracking cold? Is that profanity, or is that actually describing cold?
The wind song sings like cracking ice.
Cracking ice. Okay, I thought I said fracking. I was like, is that like frickin' ice, or like, cracking? Okay.
Have you ever heard how ice breaks underneath a frozen lake? It sounds like that. That's that's poetically the sound she's invoking. It's all metaphorical, see?
Right. Most people, when they keep a journal, they write it in abstract poetry. That's just lucky us. She's a English major.
Well, I wanted to make, because I have journal entries for the characters related to the tower. So Fraffin's journal, which you haven't found yet, Thiola's journal. So I wanted their voices to be distinct. So
right.
Thiotla is Vorse, she's a Vilcor from Varheim, so they speak very poetically sometimes here and use a lot of kennings, like they call the sea the whale road. So they
I thought you had a lisp of saying railroad. Okay, gotcha.
Whale road.
The whale road.
So she uses a lot of kennings to describe how she feels, but go ahead. Yeah.
If I sort of flick through it, is there anything passage that jumps out as being normal and understandable and related to anything?
You flip
or is
to
it all
page
just
1.
much of the same?
Start at page 1, like, did it always start like this? And entry 1. Sky breath is shallow, not a ripple in the airstreams. This unnatural quiet plants storm seeds, I fear. The air feels dense, brimming with unseen energies. I have warned Hraven that he is lost within his mind shadow, delving too deep and disturbing sleeping giants. Like Ildor before him, he courts disaster. You're welcome to make...
I just want to ask, is there a date on that entry? Like, is it
There
before the
isn't.
rock fight?
There is a date, and I didn't bother to figure out calendar stuff. But it is... let's see, with the timeline, it is before the Rot Blight.
How much time between the first entry and the last entry?
Let's see. Almost 3 years, because if I remember correctly, and I might even be misremembering this, I think Robin's been missing for about a month now. So it is... The last entry is just prior to his disappearance, timeline-wise, and the first entry is before the Rot Blight, timeline-wise.
So we've got someone... So she's screaming about danger, and 3 years happens between that and her last entry.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't keep a journal entry every year.
What?
I'm not doing that.
Oh, no, I was just like, my thought is if somebody's going, okay, he's really doing some dangerous stuff here, you've got about 3 days or so, between there. So the fact that it's like, he's doing some bad stuff.
Well, there's more context. Yeah, in the more entries. If you go to entry 2, if you'd like, you can read a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, entry 2. Sky steeds gallop across the heaven fields, guided by baiting hawks. The air crackles with energy. I have been tracking fluctuations near the Raven Beak. The wind paths there dance in chaotic patterns, swirling and colliding. It is as if the mountain itself is exhaling soul essence. I suspect a confluence of elemental forces, a convergence of air might and earth power. I will investigate further. You're welcome to make an investigation check on these entries to see if you can discern what the heck the kennings mean.
Sure.
Well, don't we already know of a mountain with the bird thing? Isn't it Ravencrest or Raven? Ravenloft, Raven.
Any?
Ravenbeak sound. Sorry.
Any?
20.
Nice.
So with this entry, we'll just start with this one. Sky steeds, you determine mean clouds. So clouds are blowing across the sky. Baiting hawks, who knows? It's just like the wind, but there's a lore context there you're missing, so you're not able to determine necessarily what that means. Never mind. There's actually the mention of that now.
Even the wise cannot say.
Even the wise cannot say. Baited hawks might be a reference to Hreisberger, the hawk who is supposedly creating the guiding winds, guiding Tinra to the northwest. So this could be a reference to the hawk's activities. So yeah, you suspect Ravenbeak is the Raven Peak Mountains. Because it kind of looks like a beak. Sort of. Sky breath is shallow from the entranceway there. The air is calm, like the calm before the storm kind of thing. It seems like disaster is coming, but it's eerily quiet from the first entry. She is also a wind sorcerer, so she kind of speaks in a way that not only is it Kennings, but it also kind of reads almost like a journal version of a weather log. The final entry, the wooden burden is led into today, so there's an unsettling aura around the air. The wind is heavy; it carries a lot. There's a lot, like the way sound carries the burden, in metaphorically in that sense. There's a lot of things going through her mind on this particular day. The sky eyes could relate to the stars, so the meeting is happening at night. Seeker and Stormcaller, Raven and Viola. Ravenwing hangs over the gathering, so there's a dark shadow. Again, reference to that kind of stuff. Hellbreeze. There's context there you're missing, but definitely winds, possibly from Hellheimer itself.
Couldn't the Raven Wing also be a reference to the Jarl? Because I presume she's probably been under the influence of that force for a while.
Could possibly be related to that as well. Flipping through, you see more kennings. There's one you see sky tears fall upon the land, so it's raining on this particular day. That is entry number 4, so the second last. If you want to read that one. But all right, so sky tears fall upon the land, washing away the dust and grime. But no amount of rain can cleanse the rot blight, written as a kenning, that now permeates the land. The winds carry the scent of rot and decay, a grim reminder of the blight's relentless spread. Raven's mind shadow grows with each passing day. He speaks of reaching Ljofheim, of guiding his beloved soul to the light, but the path he has chosen is fraught with peril. He risks not only his soul, but breaking the earth bones. The very foundation of the earth.
Doesn't sound good.
Well, not in a classical sense, no.
Suppose that means that this is her bed then, so his must be upstairs somewhere. Somewhere we should keep searching.
It also tends to lean towards the hypothesis we already had about that we thought that maybe he was involved in the whole incident that caused the rot blight in the first place.
Sorry, there's the third last entry. The second one kind of reflects all that stuff as well, referencing the spread of the rot blight. It was the second last entry, where it's kind of gotten out of control, and then the final entry is like a final meeting, like we got to fix this. And then Raven went missing, and Viola lost part of her soul. I'm happy to read the second last entry if you wish, but you're welcome to also proceed to other parts of the tower.
Just take it with us. And...
All right.
We know that this fellow is a little bit sexist, so he literally has the woman living in the kitchen. I have to say that the wizard is a bit old school, but that's all right. That's all right.
Inra smacks Valentiel upside the backpack.
Please, Elmira.
All right. I think, is there anything else you would like to investigate in the first floor, or would you like to proceed to floor number 2?
So we've done the bookcase. We've done that sort of area. There was nothing under the bed.
Oh, we haven't looked
yes.
under the bed.
I just want to check because traditionally there's always something under the bed.
Yeah. The only thing under the bed is some winter travel gear.
Okay.
Practical storage.
Yes. Because the temperature today, I rolled weather and forgot to mention the weather today. It is like roughly -3 Celsius. So it's normal temperatures for this time of year. And there's no wind. It's just a chilly night. So, which reminds you guys that you don't exactly have cold weather gear.
Wasn't there something at the far end of the room? Because we've been concentrating over by the bookcase and the bed and what have you. What was that thing over? That's just a wardrobe, wasn't it? Which had some food or pantry. Yeah, just have it with some food hanging down. So there's nothing, no hidden stuff over there.
Yeah, there's nothing over in the pantry. Even with your passive investigations, there's nothing remarkable about the pantry.
Okay, might as well carry on then, shall we?
Yeah, I thought it might have been his, so I think we will examine the upstairs a little more, or might find some more traps of the booby persuasion or something up there. But knowing that this is her dwelling and she seems to be a English meteorologist type person, I don't think we'd find too much danger or shenanigans here.
It seems that Viola is just a guest. She has a guest room of sorts in the tower.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm all up for going upstairs.
Alrighty. So proceeding to floor number 2, up the spiral staircase. Man, enunciation. Around the left side of the tower. And
with Raven Lady leading the way. Right?
She's staying at the front door. She can't get out unless she can pass a DC 25 strength check to push the doors open. She's not getting out. And she doesn't know the password because you didn't tell it. The only thing she asked when you asked her when her mind was messed up with enchantments and sorcelments, she mentioned that she asked you if you knew the password, and you said yes, but you didn't tell her, so she followed you over here.
Well, that's because we wanted her to be the point man here, leading the way up the stairs and whatnots and what have you.
Well, you ascend the stairs like a bicycle. You ascend the stairs, and you are immediately met by a door that is locked.
Hello, door.
But as you go up to the stairs, the staircase kind of goes past. So there's a room in the middle of the tower, and a staircase that is right against the wall that kind of hugs the wall. So there's a little gap that you can go around the central room that is locked, and you can ascend the stairs to the next floor if you wish, or you can open the door here. Or deal with the door.
Not very strong awakening.
I have a sense this is not going to be a door that we open with natural means, but we do have a fire wielder. We've got some brawn, and we've got my observance of obvious things. So,
does it have a handle on the outside or not, or is it just like a flat door? We have to try and push our way in.
It has a handle.
They have a key on
with one of those button lock kind of things, handles at the top, but the size of a thumbprint that you push down to open it, and there is a lock above that. Just a normal lock. Does anyone have thieves' tools or something?
I bet Verdun does.
I don't think so.
What the hey? Let's see.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
What tool proficiencies does everyone have? You have Tinker's tools. You can try and get it open that way if you like. Valentine does, because
Yeah.
Arnu has the Fletcher's kit stuff.
Right. Yep. No. Okay. I'll pull out my kit there, and assert my skills that I remind you have been honed over 600 years on the lock of this door.
But you're using thieves' tools. You're not using thieves' tools to open a lockpick. Trying something as close as you can to something like a lockpick to open the door. There's going to be a little bit of a higher DC, but you can give it a go using sleight of hand.
All right.
We get to witness Valentine's honed skills.
Behold the majesty.
He's praying to Amara right now.
That's not accurate. Okay. Let's see. What is the sleight of hand you said?
Yeah.
That's a 19.
So somehow you find the smallest tool within your Tinker's Tools kit and manage to just jiggle the door open just enough so you can push the handle down and open the door.
The thunderous applause is deserved.
The ghosts clap. Ooh, the DC was 15. Amazing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I have an investigation check from 45 minutes ago that just showed up now. Amazing. Okay. So in this room, you can tell that it is some sort of office or study. Right away. Let me get my notes here. Second floor. Door is locked. So on the right-hand side, you see a large desk. The scale of this room is a little bit different because it's a smaller room. So I was trying to draw things a little bit larger. But you see a desk over here with lots of scribbled and scrawled notes. On there. And let's see, anything else in this room? Yes. So the other thing in this room on the left-hand side-ish is Valentine and Verdun. Actually, anyone who casts spells would recognize it as an enchanting table. This is how you learn spells, practice spells, strengthen spells, that kind of stuff. And you see that in here. Oh, by the way, the reason why your character names aren't on your tokens is because I found a way to declutter the visual space with all the names. So they're still there. I just erased the name and entered space, and that counts as a character. So now it's a little bit of a cleaner look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, which one's me? I can't tell.
Okay. So the second floor. As soon as you enter the room and observe the surroundings within. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm here. Here it comes. Here it comes. That's all I'm saying. Here it comes. I'm ready. Here it comes.
All right. A creature wreathed in smoky, shadowy wisps manifests before you, right in the center of the room as you walk in. And a creature that you may or may not actually recognize as some type of spectral being shows up right in front of you. Oh, and makes terrible noises.
Does it resemble any description we've had of the Archmage at all? I'm just curious.
It does not appear to. It appears to. He doesn't have. I don't know if you had a description of the wizard yet, so it's not exactly clear. Because this character does have some type of beard to him, but he's not wearing any robes of any kind or anything like that.
Oh.
He just seems to be. You don't
Yeah, I think we
see
had a very
anything.
basic description of him. He was older and had a beard. I don't remember much more than that, really.
Dog being funny. So the Alab manifests and begins to speak. See if his voice carries over and if you can understand it.
I know a secret, but it's wrapped in a riddle that confounds me. For you to know it is for me to know it. Help me pass on my own knowledge, so that I may be free from this realm.
Do you want me to describe that normally? Was that okay?
I got that. Yeah. Help me help you. Help me help you.
Awesome.
Cool. Give us your riddle, O Smoky One, and we shall indeed free you from this plane of existence. I think. Right, guys? Right? That's
Yeah.
good with that?
Yes, the spectral being hasn't been hasn't been hostile to you. So, let's see. Should I do it like this instead? I think that's funny.
I think version number 1 was a little less comedic.
It was a little harder to hit than understand.
It's a little bit clearer to understand. Maybe I put a little accent on. This is how Valencia's supposed to sound.
Oh, I see. You're telling the Irishman he's supposed to sound more Scottish. I see.
Exactly.
I'm just happy he's not speaking in a Southern Belle accent. That's all.
Yep. Oh, okay. So, a black raven is perched on a wall, surveying a city aflame. The black raven took obsidian, and then he changed his name. He fared across the whale road as far as the raven flew, but with a gift to present and a secret to bury, he began a life anew. An object of volcanic glass once bequeathed, he deigned to stay, to protect a place he now called home until a fateful day. Who is the Black Raven?
Spruce Wayne. Oops.
Hey,
Bruce Wayne, eh?
He came across
All
the
right.
sea. I understood that part.
I'm going to do the thingy and move thingy down and do new page so that I can copy and paste thingy so that I can share the screen so you can read the riddle.
There we go.
I had like the first half, and I was like, that was really long.
Right. I think that was just the preamble. Like, that's not even the important part.
Let me move this over here. Why is it doing the stupid thing? Stop doing dumb.
I heard the orb of glass, so I'm pretty sure that's the dragon egg, and it was decided to stick around after that. So would it
That's
be the
probably also
dragon?
the obsidian thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. At least you got most of it. Alright, so let me share my screen here. Will it be spoilery? Nope. Okay. Alright.
Okay. To present a secret to bury. So is he looking for a proper name, or is he looking for...
He just wants to know who it is.
Would it be the dragon? Because I remember when we were talking about the city when it burst into flame, that wasn't there a dragon involved in that?
Yeah, it could be that because obviously we thought the egg was linked to that story, that city, and that. So maybe the Archmage came from that city, brought the egg with him, and started a new life here. Because it's almost set and starting a new life here, isn't it? So maybe it's the Archmage. He's actually come here for a new start.
All right, this may lead nowhere, but let me just. From whence have you come, or what was your creation there? Oh, what's the name? Polyp or Poopy or Alipop? Hang on.
It's an Alep.
Alep, Mr. Alep. Why are you here? I'm trying to get a frame for, like, I mean, because if he knows the wizard, he probably would know that he's the Black Raven. But like, what spawned your creation? Why are you here?
I don't know how I am, just that I am.
He doesn't
We
know how I
got
got here.
Born identity situation here. Okay.
You can go ahead and make an Arcana check if you like.
That sounds like something I would do.
If you go down, you're up and learning. Oh, yeah, go ahead, but you can make one too.
All right, dirty 20 for me.
Yeah, we'll just go with that because that's definitely going to be high enough. An Alep is in essence, it's a physical manifestation of an experience. So they basically come into existence if there is forgotten lore or a secret that this space surrounding a certain area has learned. So an experience. So in this case, it's definitely related to the occupants of the tower. Just in what capacity? So yeah, Aleps are basically like manifestations of lore, and they like to pass on their knowledge so that they can be free of the mortal realm, from the mortal realm.
So we got lucky in that our Alep doesn't have any knowledge. He has a question.
He has knowledge, but he knows it, but it's in a riddle and he can't solve it.
We got the worst Alep in the world. Goodness gracious.
Luckily, this one's not hostile, unless you attack it.
Do we only get one guess? How does it work? If we guess wrong,
Nope.
is it all over? Okay.
All right. Anybody have a list of names from the beginning? We're just going to go off and find which one sticks.
Well, I just, if we're thinking maybe the dragon or the archmage, maybe it's worth saying both, seeing which it might be. There's no downside.
Why don't we start with the Archmage, because he probably has travelled there. I mean, he might. They act like he's been there a long time, but that could be his new life was at this town.
Bound, you'll
Okay.
make a history check with advantage because you were there.
Oh, jeez. Apparently I wasn't very attentive. History, that's 11. With advantage.
Nice. So, on the day of the scorching of Dar al-Samerg, there were only a few wizards who you remembered 250 years ago. Fabriel is a wizard of sorts, so he was there. There was you. There was Olarin, which is that high elf, part of your entourage mercenary band. And there was, with an 11, it's just enough to remember another name of Aramel.
Aramel?
Araman, basically.
Araman?
Aramel. Yeah.
And who was the first one again? Sorry.
You know, Fabriel, yourself, Olarin, and Araman.
Okay. Well, we start with the most obvious one. Is it Valentil?
No.
Okay, that's worth a shot. Fabriel?
You know,
Okay.
Fabriel was more or less, well, you didn't exactly see him, but he was leading the efforts to coordinate the, I was going to say exorcist, but that's not the right word at all. Exodus. The escorts of the citizens of the city. So he was kind of in charge of that. He's always been that kind of person. Olarin was, as far as you know, doing the same thing as you were. Leading small groups of people outside of the city and fighting back the fire elementals. And occasionally a stray dragon tail. There was also a wizard in the tower that was mentioned by Fabrio as well, that hasn't necessarily been. He didn't name this wizard, but he's the one who used the dragon egg to conjure the rift.
Well, so yeah, I think we're clearly looking for someone who wasn't doing a whole hell of a lot during this time. Like, it was somebody who was sitting there, well, perched on a wall. Well, would that be like a gargoyle or something? Or, I mean, it sounds like it was somebody who was just kind of watching everything take place versus somebody who was actively doing things there, good or bad. Do I remember? Because I remember you describing the situation, but I don't remember all the details. When the whole thing ended, I was there, right? When it went out. So like, what did I see when everything kind of was resolved? What transpired?
So, Fabio basically described his, well, his mind might be a little bit fuzzy in remembering exactly how the dragon, like he said, it either got bored or whatever it was looking for, it couldn't find it, so it left, or it drove it away, which is definitely not true. He was just trying to remember what exactly happened. You went back to the tower where the initial experiment took place. Of course, it was destroyed, but there was no sign of the egg, which you know enough to safely presume that the egg would be able to survive the fire damage. Because the lava dragon's flame is red. It is the coldest fire of a dragon that it can breathe. Still hot, of course. But it is, relatively speaking, the coldest of dragon flame. So it can definitely survive the fires of the lava dragon. And it was not in the tower. And an extensive search went out for it. Lauren was there. Fabio was there. That wizard who conjured the portal was not. And Arteman was not.
All right, so since we don't know the other one's name, I guess Araman is probably the and we don't know who so by process of elimination, we don't know who the wizard is just by the fact that there was Dude X who was here, he's no longer here, so we can say that it was Dude X. We don't know that. Right?
Arnu, make an intelligence check.
I was gonna say also, because I was looking at my like backstory and stuff, because I don't know if you've mentioned the name Alarin.
Alarin,
Just
yep.
then? Okay, cool.
Alarin was Valentil's mercenary partner. He was the other wizard of the group.
Okay.
He died in a routine escort mission.
8.
8. All right. Dog's chewing on her toy. So with an 8, nothing comes to mind as to any identity relating to this wizard. The unknown wizard still remains unknown.
Do I have a description?
There's no description.
Can't we just ask if the one who's went missing, whether it's him or not? I forget his name. Is it the Archwizard, the one who set the walls, whether it's him or not? Forget his name.
Raven.
Well, can we just check? Is it Archmage Raven? I know it seems obvious because it's the Black Raven, but you might as well just. Sometimes you have to try the obvious.
I think so. But something is still unclear.
And he repeats the riddle again.
Because it's so close.
So he thinks so, but something's still unclear.
Now, if you are stuck on this particular riddle, he's not preventing you from leaving, necessarily. So if you want to look around the rest of the tower to see if you can find any more clues that might be able to allow you to answer this question better, feel free. He's just, in order to be released from this mortal coil, he needs just the answers to his riddle. So
we can't ask him any other questions then, like where if he knows where the arch mage came from initially.
No, he's stuck in his loop, his riddle loop.
So maybe he just had a different name. So yeah, we'll go upstairs. Maybe he's got a journal, and he'd be like, "They used to call me Tim, but I changed my name because."
This journal belongs to.
So what?
This
I was
journal
gonna say-
belongs to. Dot, dot, dot.
Yeah.
Can we just like look on the desk that's right behind him? There's some information there.
Yeah, you can look on the desk here as well. But you know, in the riddle that someone came over, changed his name. So someone took the egg. So it's either the wizard that went missing or Aramel, and he changed his name.
Okay, well then, so you said like it's just a bunch of like notes on the desk. So like, would that be like investigation if I was like looking for any particular names?
On the desk. Oh my goodness. Second floor, study. Study is locked. Interior, the room is cluttered with many research materials. The desk. Fraben's notes are scattered across the desk. You can see a lot of notes pertaining to the rot blight. Your passive investigation is level 11, so you're able to see that there are detailed sketches and descriptions of the blight weavers.
It's 16.
Passive investigation. Oh yeah, I was looking at insight. Yeah, with 16. And you can see that he has a growing concern. He's basically tracking their evolution. So it's leads up right to the burrowers, so the ones that burrow, and he is concerned about their evolution, and he has underlined the word flight several times. He believes that is the next progress for their evolution, is to get wings. You
Well,
do
maybe-
find.
I was going to say maybe the observer's steed is one that's already evolved to that level.
It would seem so. You do find a note with, since this is 13, investigation to passive 16. This particular one, since you're looking on the desk anyways, for anything in particular. You see signs of a recent argument or disagreement between Theotla and Thraben. You see one note that reads from Thyla to Thraben saying, Thraben, I understand your grief, but this path, it's dangerous. You're risking more than just yourself. The winds whisper of chaos, and I fear you're stirring them unnecessarily.
Oh, that was refreshingly poignant.
A little bit more direct. Interspersed among these scientific observations are personal letters, written in Elgin script. Specifically in Elvish. So anyone who actually reads Elvish are able to read these. I'm pretty sure 2 of you, maybe 3 of you speak Elvish. Definitely Valentine and Verdun. You see a lot of personal letters addressed to someone named Fianaril. And one letter reads, My dearest Fianaril, the weight of your absence grows heavier each day. I fear the shadows lengthen, and the light of Jofheim seems so far away.
So, as is the case with most things, this all happened because he lost somebody he loved, right? That's seems to be Fianaru is someone he cared about, bit the big one, and now he's doing stupid things either to get her back or to, probably there. So,
And
that's my interpretation.
Interrogation? Yeah, it's pretty accurate. So I'll just have a general investigation check for the rest of the room. Each of you who wants to look.
15.
15. Excellent.
I rolled a 20.
Ooh, nice. Natural
I
20
also
or dirty?
got 15, so
Dirty 20.
That's dirty. Okay. So first and foremost, you with the 20, you look up to see what's on this ceiling, and you see the Corvus constellation. painted prominently on the top of a raven, constellation of the raven. Throughout the rest of this room, let's see what else is here. You find a book, a very thin short story book that is titled in Elvish, The Scorching of Dar el-Samerg, a cautionary tale, written by Archwizard Flappin. So it seems he had written a small little book here. The synopsis contains details of the destruction of Dar el-Samerg, a once thriving city that was consumed by dragonfire. His account focuses on the magical circumstances surrounding the catastrophe. You glean from skipping ahead to the end. His theory is that a reckless wizard attempted to open a portal that he names. Where the heck did I put this name? Find faster. Ildor.
Is there any information about what this portal actually leads to, or where it leads to?
Yes. So this his theory is that a reckless wizard named Ilidor attempted to open a portal to Robentosh, the land of fire, but he used a flawed method. Instead of using the proper portal trigger, because each portal is built in a specific way with specific activators, he used the dragon egg as a catalyst, which is the incorrect portal activator. So instead, his theory is that it opens a rift in the sky rather than a stable portal. And then the dragon, likely sensing the disturbance or drawn to the dragon egg, unleashed the dragon on the city and burned it to the ground. And that is mostly all it is about the account. Doesn't mention anything else specifically. It's just about the account as a whole and his theory surrounding why what happened.
Do we think that is the Alip's identity or the answer to the riddle?
What, Ildor? I don't think we can try it. I don't think so. I think it has to, because he seemed like we were on the over target close with the fact that it's the archmage guy. But Ildor.
It is not Ildor.
Yeah.
So we need to find out what the actual mage's real name is in order to solve the riddle then, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Pity he didn't put it on his journal, isn't it?
Yeah,
We got Finnaru, but not
Finnaru.
or Fianaru.
I
I try to write it phonetically, but
It's I'll include the names in the session notes. It's an elven name, Fianaru.
Fianaru.
Means light feather.
Okay.
Other element of this room is a sturdy oak table that dominates the left-hand side of the room. Its surface etched with glowing runes and particular types of abjuration and frost magic. Those are the runes that are on the surface, and a bunch of swirling patterns.
He's not put his true initials on there. That's a pity, isn't it?
Yeah, he has not. However, he has placed, you see on the surface, other than a blank spellbook, you see a pristine blue feather that rests on the center of the runic carvings. But you see a few other spell components as well. There's a vial labeled here. Small chunks of ice are scattered around it. It seems that Glavin is designing his own spell. There's only a name of the spell that you see scrawled in the blank spellbook called Raven's Rhyme.
Do we know the Elvish word for raven?
Yes, you would know the word for raven is.
Inra speaks and writes Elvish.
We just get that for you in a second.
No. Let Tinra provide. She said she speaks Elvish. What is it, Tinra? What's the word for raven in Elvish?
I'm sure he's going to tell me something torturous to pronounce in a minute.
Let's see here. So, there we go. It was obvious, but I forgot. It's Krumi.
Wait, the password?
Krumi was the password, wasn't it? So maybe that's the real name as well then.
Krumi!
What?
Wait, what? That's your name too?
Krumi. It does not seem to be Krumi.
Well, seems like we've kind of exhausted this room for any information, so maybe we'll find something farther up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
let's keep searching.
Yeah.
And did I miss what's in it for us for helping this smoky guy?
He gets to escape.
No, I said in it for us.
Oh, and for you. So he gets to escape, and he won't attack you for failing to. He won't attack you, basically. He won't become hostile to you. And it'll provide insight into what's happening here.
So no carrot, we just get the stick. I see. Okay.
We prevent the stick, basically.
Oh,
Right.
sorry. Krumi was the divorce word for raven. We were looking for the elven Kraban.
Kraban?
Or Kraben. Or Kraban, however you want to pronounce it. Craban. It's I'm just
I knew
using.
that.
I'm just looking at. I'm just using Sindarin.
Old
Which is
Crabine.
So definitely not Kraban. He again
Alright.
says, "What?" Pretend you said that instead. There's also notes on the spell if you want to read about it, but they're not important to the notes. Just is describing the spell he's working on if anyone's curious.
Let's
Yep.
take a quick look.
Yeah.
All right.
You might get some clues.
There are 5 notes in total. But basically, the first one is on the nature of cold itself. Common understanding of cold is that it is a mere absence of heat. This is a simplification. True cold is a potent force, an active principle of abjuration, a barrier against flame and heat. It seems like he was trying to harness this particular energy against death's chill, he says. And so he describes in the second note the significance of the blue feather, which comes from a frost feather raven, which you saw as a painting in the Raven Temple at Odin's Eyrie. It's just that it's a raven of the north, and that its essence is crucial for making the spell work correctly. And then the note 3 describes that interwoven within this dome is because is basically a frosty barrier that prevents spells like magic missile from entering. Dark vision can't pass through it, but there's also different types of wards within that can be chosen as well when the spell is cast, from banishment to binding with the ice and to turning. Seems
Does the dome? Sorry, you said this dome. Does that mean the whatever he's trying to create from this spell? I'm just thinking of the little dome that's the orb
outside.
thing. Yeah, or the orb.
This seems to be a different type of dome.
Yeah. Okay.
Not as grand and vast as that particular type of magic. Basically, it's there's a few different wards that are conjured within this dome that you can use as a secondary effect. So turning undead would be very useful, but he hasn't perfected the spell yet. And then there's a couple other things as well, such as you cannot leave and enter the ethereal plane if you're within this dome space. So he's working on this particular spell. It is mechanically a 6th level spell called Raven's Rhyme.
And you said it does something about what was supposed to be against death's chill, i.e. raising the dead, perhaps?
Basically, he's designing a type of magic that will help against the Blightweavers, the undead. So you exhausted the 2nd floor, pretty much. There's nothing else left in here. You investigated the spell he was working on. You saw the notes and the terrifying implications of potentially flying zombies, essentially. And then the Alip's riddle still remains unanswered, but there are more rooms yet to explore. So you're welcome to carry on up the stairs towards the 3rd floor.
Yep.
That's this was a pit stop anyway, so yeah, we might as well just carry on.
All right. So the spiral staircase continues upwards, leading to a combined bedroom and balcony area. So let me pull up the map for that. La-di-doo-di-da. Lee-di-doo-di-da.
The soundtrack is
Load.
breathtaking.
Glad I could provide. All right. Let me drop your characters.
Oh, the floor's prettier anyway.
All right. Does not look much cleaner. With
Yes.
The names. We know who you are at this point.
Is that what the opaque circles are? Is that where the
Yeah.
names normally would be?
Yeah, because you can't have. There's literally can't have nothing. So
Oh, okay.
that's my workaround. Works.
It's
All
better
right.
than having Verdan Tastrasov taking up like half the space.
It's that's such a mouthful of a surname.
It just should be Verdan to be continued.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, leading in the balcony area, this space feels more personal than the other floors. You see a simple bed, a small writing desk, and a balcony. Let's see. This would be on the back side, the west side of the space. Basically, the circles around the other side as well. So there's like a semi-panoramic view of the space, with a door that leads outside. And sitting on the bed. Yeah, let me just actually finish drawing the bed here. Was it this one? This one? Yeah. Masterful bed.
Oh, now I see it. Now I see
Yeah,
it.
perfect. Oh, it's going to be even better. Oh, these drawings are. So sitting on the bed. Oh no, it's still that tool. And just drifting out from the bed. Off the bed, not from. Off the bed is a phantom. A
This is the
spectral
creepy.
creature. It's just that's the ghost token, but it's not actually a ghost. Well, in a manner of speaking, it is. But this creature is completely white, wispy form instead of its usual blue or perhaps teal wispy form. And this figure is a woman who sits up, looks at you, and says, "You are not Aramel, yet you are in his tower. Are you friend or trespasser?"
I'm sorry, you said Aramare?
Aramel.
Ah, wait, we tried that name, didn't we?
Did not.
No, it
We
isn't.
did not. Well, I guess we solved that riddle. We're good friends of Aramel.
I see. Well, you're in his tower. That means you either got past his defenses or he gave you the password.
Who are you?
During my time here, I was called Prumi. But he knew me as Fionnaru.
Ah, so you're the paramour of Aramel.
I guess you could say that.
And you're no longer living. I guess I could say that too. I'm not wrong.
That's axiomatic.
Why don't you? She might be a bit sensitive on that point, so maybe whisper that a bit under your
Yeah.
breath.
Doesn't even say anything. He just kind of looks down and sits back on the bed solemnly, staring at her knees.
Is he trying to bring it back by any chance?
No, he is trying to guide me back to the afterlife. He managed to snag my soul in his orb. And he doesn't want to release me for fear of something happening. He wants to guide me back to the light of Yofheim, where he wished for me to go initially, but I ended up in Helheim.
And where did he actually pull you from? If you didn't go where you were supposed to, where did he draw you in from?
My soul was in Helheim. It's not so bad, not all of the places. Some of them are quite nice. But that's where my soul was, and from whence it was ripped. Pulled.
So you're just kind of hanging out here until he figured it out. But I guess he's been gone for a while. We know that because we're his buddies. He's been gone for a while now. Did he say where he was going? We just know he's not here.
The last thing I heard from him, he was meeting Thiotla near the edge of Featherwood. He has not returned. I am confined to this room. I am kept here. I am just his memory of me, essentially. Just a shadow.
Oh. Well, you look great. You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can to try and help you as well, but obviously we need to find him first.
Well, perhaps this journal can help. Search around the room, it must be in here. I cannot interact with anything.
Well, surely you've seen him put it away, right? I mean, why do you have to search? Can't you just point to the drawer or the place that it is? What? No?
I am merely the memories of Fionari, not Raffin's memories.
Oh. Okay. All right, well, I searched the room for the journal.
Alrighty. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Anything else in this room? No, just the balcony and stuff.
17.
Alright, 17. So, you see, excuse me, I felt the burp coming. There we go. It was coming rather than I didn't want to speak and go blah all over the place. So you see, what's on the desk is just a bunch of. It's pretty much a clean desk. There's nothing but a book he was reading, a candle, but inside the desk you find a journal.
Got it.
With a little bit of a flap that kind of holds the two ends together, the two covers together. And you go to open it, and it does not move.
Of course not.
It seems
Stupid flap.
like the door. This is also password protected.
Maybe it's the same password.
I bet it's her name. Yeah. Krumi.
Anything happen? No. Doesn't seem to be the correct name or password.
Aramel.
Doesn't seem to open the book.
Finaru? Yeah.
Theonaru. And you see the little flap that holds the two covers together open up.
Remind me again, because I'm silly. Fionaru is. I have the name here, and I remember as an
I
elf.
think that's what.
That's her real name, isn't it? Because the other one's more of an affectionate name, I think.
Yeah, so...
Oh, right.
Yeah, the exact reason for the names changing is not 100... Well, it's not 100% clear just yet, but yeah, Fionaru is Krumi.
That's okay. Gotcha. Good call there, Arnu. Good call.
And you're half elf as well, so you can tell that, judging by given off her phantom, it's pretty much the exact visage of Fionaro. She's a half elf,
Oh.
which explains why she could either have gone to the elven afterlife with the light, or the human afterlife in Hela. So it wasn't up to her; it was just she ended up there.
Okay.
So
All right,
you
well,
see that.
I've got
So
his
you see a
journal.
lot of. Yep, you open up his journal. All right. Let me pull up those entries here. So you open up his journal, and the first page is blank. There's nothing there. You turn a few more pages, and eventually you find where there should be words, but instead you find just black scribbles and some smudges.
Was your
Can
man
she read
literate?
this?
Sorry. Good.
Everything. Can she read it at all?
I cannot read it. Unfortunately, I'm just his memories of me.
Does his memories of you include how to read it?
Well, if I know Raven, it is another password.
Did he have another name for you?
Not for me.
Anything else he held dear? Anyone else?
Another name for himself, perhaps.
You
Well,
know,
that'd be
Raven has two names. Because he calls, when you entered, the only occupant of this tower is Aramel or Raven.
So it probably is one of them, isn't it?
Aramel.
So as you say this name, the text that is on the surface, the scribbles and smudges, form into words right before your eyes. It seems this was like the spell Illusory Script. This spell was a different spell was affecting this particular text. But at the front of the book, you see his final entry. It seems Raven was a bit different and wrote his journal back to front.
Quite eccentric. And, all right, so his last/first entry is...
Yep, no, this is the right one. Okay, here we go. So, the winds are howling, a prelude to the storm. The blight-weavers are more active than ever, their numbers growing. The hag's influence spreads, further weakening the veil. I still feel that unsettling familiarity around the Deathweaver, as if part of me should know him, but the memory eludes me, like a dream fading upon waking. Perhaps Thiola will have answers. She arrives tonight. We will meet near Featherwood at the ward's edge to discuss how to contain this growing plague. I pray she has found a solution. A way to close the wound I have opened. This meeting, it feels important. Perhaps it will be the turning point we so desperately need.
Well, it sounds like we need to go to Featherwood. That's where everything went down, right?
That's where we
Yeah.
found her, wasn't it? We found her on the outskirts.
Yeah, and that's where you found the orb as well.
Mm. But he's pretty much admitted there that he's caused the problem to begin with. So is it worth looking back to see if there's any other entries which might shed light on how he caused it?
Would you like to go back to like somewhere in the middle, or would you like to go to the very beginning?
I just start at the beginning, just in case. Cause maybe he started writing because he was beginning this undertaking. So I think, yeah, give us turn to the first page / the last page in the book.
All right, so you can you can see from this entry that it is dated 250 years or so ago. So this is prior to him arriving here, but it will explain some things. Basically, the first entry is about Dar al Samerg. Basically saying the air crackled with, this is kind of stuff you already know, but from his perspective. So there's nothing necessarily of note there. But he basically says the air crackled with unnatural energy. The fool wizard, which he doesn't name here, obsessed with summoning fire elementals, made a terrible mistake. And opening portals to the Robintosh, the plane of fire, and unleashing elementals. It was a terrible mistake. Instead of carefully preparing the proper components and activator, he used a dragon's egg. And then it's just a description of how terrible it was, with tearing the fabric of reality open and screams and fire and that kind of stuff that you've already seen before. So nothing. The first two entries are about that kind of thing, reflecting on that. But the third entry describes, I have the egg. In the chaos, I managed to retrieve it. I don't know why. Perhaps it was more curiosity, perhaps as a way to prevent further destruction. Or perhaps just a desperate attempt to salvage something from the room. But I know I cannot stay here. The stench of burning flesh and the memory of the dragon's wrath will haunt this place forever. I must leave, find somewhere to hide, to start anew. And then he described the journey after that, describes the journey to the railroad, across the railroad to Varheim, and reflecting on how he's glad Fionaro is there. And the final sentence of that entry says, Aramail the Black Raven is no more. I am Craven now. I will bury my past and build a new life in this land.
But the fact that he finds the Observer familiar, it could be somebody from the destruction of that city then, who has survived, and he, in some form.
Entry 5 is describing how the egg sits in the Jarl's Long Hall, in the Longhouse. Basically, it also describes how he offered the egg as a relic of a lost civilization to the Jarl there, as a way to kind of like get him accepted into the society. So that's how that mystery was solved. Scooby-Doo. So the egg sits in the Jarl's Long Hall, a constant reminder of my past. Sometimes in the dead of night, I still hear whispers in the wind, echoes of the dragon's roar. I fear that one day the past will come back to haunt me, but I've made a vow. I will protect this land. I will atone for the destruction I have witnessed. I will keep the secret of Dar el-Samurg buried deep within the ashes of my former life. Raven's End, the tomb at the west side of Ravenhorn, intrigues me. The locals call it Ravendir. I will begin my study of the strange spectre activity henceforth. And the next entry is, I have begun my research. But then it comments on Fionaro accompanies me, her connection to the natural world a constant source of wonder. She senses a deep unease here, a disharmony that resonates with the very earth. She speaks of a sickness, a corruption that taints the air, but it is not like any disease I have studied. It feels ancient or primordial. And this was his early research.
There
So
was
this
something going on at the tomb before whatever he did made things so much worse.
Yes, it seems like the veil around between life and death at the tomb has always been thinner than other places. So this one is the next entry is shortly after meeting Teotla. Teotla has shared fascinating insights into the cosmic forces that govern our world, particularly those that concern the winds. I got more names. She spoke of Bethrolentir, the great eagle, dubbed the Wind Witherer, who sits atop Yggdrasil, his gauge watching over Vinderheim, the realm of wind and the Aesir. His presence, she explained, is not merely observational, it is a force of balance, a calming influence on the turbulent energies that blow throughout the realm. So a little insight into Thyla there. There's just a little bit more on that. Yeah, but basically at the end of the entry after that, Thyla says that without Vethrolenthir's watch and wind withering, Rise Velger's winds would tear the very fabric of reality apart. This balance, she claims, is essential to the stability of all the realms. Alright. So the next entries focus more on Krumi. He used to call Krumi Fionaro in earlier entries. He's now referring to Fionaro as Krumi at this point. Krumi's unease has deepened. And this is during, after meeting Thyla and continuing his research. This is closer to about 3 years. So this one's dated 50 years prior, 50 years ago. Krumi's unease has deepened. She describes feeling a constant pull towards the tomb, a sense of being drawn into its depths. She has begun to experience strange physical sensations, chills that run deeper than the winter air, fleeting moments of dizziness and a persistent cough. Her touch is always cold now. It is as if something is draining her life force. Alright. And then the next entry is about the veil continuing to thin, and as it grows thinner, Krumi's condition gets worse. The entry after that sounds a little bit more desperate, where it begins with "I am losing her," as she gets further and further affected by the thinning veil. And then the entry after that is "It is as I feared. The strange energy has claimed her. The veil simply gave way. There was no tear, no rift, just a gentle fading. One moment she was beside me, her cold hand in mine, the next she was gone. Drawn through the thinning veil, her essence dissolving into the spectral realm." Or the deathly realm. "The silence echoes in my soul."
So it sounds like, from the description, that her physical body disappeared as well. It wasn't just her spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's unusual. Also, potentially, maybe she could come back if we find her.
So this next entry is dated 50 years later. So after Fionnato passed away. 50 years of silence, of mourning. I have continued my research of Raven's End, driven by a hollow determination. I have studied every text, every rune, every whisper of lore. But nothing has brought her back, nothing has eased the pain. I had almost given up hope. And then shortly after that, a few months later, I felt it, a fleeting touch, a familiar warmth in the cold air. It was her, I know it was. A presence I haven't felt in half a century. It was faint, barely perceptible, but it was enough to rekindle the embers of hope within me. I must find her, I must reach her. I have begun experimenting with new rituals, more powerful incantations, anything to bridge the gap between worlds. This time I am prepared. And then we get to the crux of it. With the next entry, I attempted to reach for the ritual. It went wrong. The energy surged, the air crackled, and for a terrifying moment, a Terran reality opened before me. But it was not a stable portal, like similar to what happened at Dar al-Samurg. It was a raw, jagged wound, a fleeting glimpse into the abyss. I acted quickly, channeling all of my power to seal it shut. But the damage was already done, and I fear something has crossed over. So now, the last few entries are about the Rotlight specifically, and the early stages of that. Commenting on, in addition to all the wraiths and phantoms and ghosts that kind of always exist around the tomb, a lot of them harmless. Now there's more corporeal undead rising out of the tomb, and comments on how some of them poured through the portal. The next entry is about how the influence is spreading, more and more undead are rising, and they're being woven into the fabric of death that now permeates the area. I've begun to call these creatures blight-weavers, because of their nature and how death seems to weave them together. Or how the blight, seems to weave them together, the disease itself.
Does he mention anything about the Observer in any of these entries?
Yes, the next entry is about a disturbing discovery. Some of the escaped spirits have manifested into a more organized form. 3 hags, twisted and corrupted by the energies of the portal, and Helheim itself have established a coven in the nearby mire. They wield powerful necromantic magic, and they speak of serving a master, a being that has come to be known as the Death Weaver. This is a far greater threat than I initially imagined. And then the next one is where he summons Theodla to get her help to deal with the hags and the Death Weaver. And the entry after that, the line of note says, Theodla fears that the Death Weaver is not merely a being from the beyond, but something has returned from this land's own history. So this Death Weaver didn't come from Helheim, it is just a risen dead that already existed here. Likely from the tomb itself. And
Now,
then
go
ahead.
No, keep going.
Oh, there's only a couple more entries. This is about a more recent events. So he actually comments on the volcanic egg here as well. The Orskona has made an unsettling offer. In exchange for finding a cure for this disease, she has promised a reward beyond measure. The very egg that brought me to these lands. The one I feared fled Dar al-Simurg to escape. I thought I had left all that behind. And then the next entry is just more on this. Basically, in the next entry, he fears that with the announcement of the egg, many people will try and retrieve it, like thieves, raiders, that kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of people after the egg. So he's like, it was stupid to offer it as a reward. But he understands their desperation. Anything else here? Just more commenting on how the egg was doing that. All right. And then the next one is on the more into the red blight. So getting thicker into the, like a couple years since the red blight has started spreading. So this is more. It's just more about how the Death Weaver is growing in power, and so are the Blight Weavers are evolving as well, changing their forms. The entries also commented how half of the village was destroyed by the spreading plague, and that he put up a great ward to protect the rest of the village, and how he's maintaining it with his orb. And then the final entry, which you've already read, comments on sending a meeting to Thyla as things are getting out of control. And those are all the entries.
All right, I may be getting into the weeds here. This may not be relevant, but I'm curious. So what? And it was probably said. I just didn't connect the dots. Why was his gal specifically targeted or specifically affected by this tear in the veil, or this failure of the veil, the thinning of the veil between living and non-living?
It was actually not mentioned in this journal.
It was not mentioned. I mean, considering that's kind of the start of everything, I'm kind of curious about a resolution for that. It's not our immediate problem. I'm just curious because it seems to be a cascading effect that, as it has no discernible source, it could easily happen again. But I think we need to kill some hags, and
the tomb seems like a place to go, and seems to be a big source of everything.
I hear it's beautiful this time of year.
Maybe not. Also, we keep talking about this lady as being his girl, but I mean that wasn't how she actually answered, was it? It may be that there was some element of there that it wasn't as straightforward as that. This somehow impacted how she's ended up in this form.
Yeah, that isn't clear. Yeah.
She didn't actually say yes, we had a relationship. She answered in a fairly evasive way, which might be partly because it's only the memories, but equally it could indicate something else nefarious going on.
She wasn't also asked directly a question of that nature as well.
Well, that can be remedied.
I just think it might be relevant, mightn't it?
Miss Phantom, were you and what's his name? Aramel, were you two a thing? Lovers, brothers or
Miss
sisters?
Phantom. Miss Phantom reminded me of Danny Phantom for some reason.
That's a great show. That's a great show.
Yes, we were partners.
Meaning
Studied-
partners like. Oh, go ahead.
He was my husband. I was his wife, and we studied the tomb together.
Good.
Well, that means that she travelled with him away from the. She would have travelled away from the burning city with him, then, wouldn't she? So she might have more information on the mages, who may also have survived.
Yeah, was there a fool mage? Do you remember a fool mage? The dumbest mage you can think of. Is there a name that springs to mind?
Let's see. Yeah. No name comes to mind. It seems that even Hraven has tried to bury certain memories in his past, and they're not manifesting.
And just out of small spirit of curiosity, do you remember the name of a very brave-hearted, courageous, daring and dashing half-dwarf, half-elf who really did a great deal of assistance with getting people to safety? Did you happen to remember his name?
Haven't a clue.
You sure? Nothing at all? Begins with, sounds like, rhymes with, nothing?
Positive.
Okay. Well, this lady clearly doesn't remember anything of note, so I think we just...
Let's see. I think I actually have some dialogue here.
Aha, I knew it!
Let's see. Some lines I wrote just in case. It goes, oh, it pretty much just happened. Flavin. He tries so hard to bring me peace, but he doesn't understand some wounds cannot be healed. We talked about how he's kept here. Let's see, anything? Oh, wait, I already did that. Why did I repeat myself? Darn it. It's twice the amount of things to scroll through. So in layman's terms, she just comments on how, things that you already reiterated in the journal, trying to guide her soul to the Lofheim now, even though she's already been into Helheim. She's definitely passed away, but making sure her soul goes to Lofheim. And how Thyla has warned him of, hey, puppy.
Did she mention the orb earlier?
The orb. I don't think nope, she did not mention the orb.
Do you have any memories of obviously your escape? You both fled from the city after the dragon came. Did anyone ever find out the name of the dragon that actually attacked the city?
Oh boy, let me roll a check for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, percentile checks, that'd be better. It's going to be a low percentage. It's only going to be a 10% chance that this dragon came and went. That is a 2.
So yes.
I believe this dragon has come to be known, at least in Ermel's mind, is... Oh boy. Let me get to this page. Kvikrun.
I'm going to call him Tim.
Where is Kvikrun? Where is she? Where are ya? There you are. Kvikron. There we go. Kvikron. Kvikhraun. It means fast flowing lava.
Which, though perhaps a little more clunky to say, would probably be easier to say. Oh, fast moving lava, where are you? We'll have to say something like that, I suppose. Kvikhraun. Okay. All right, so we've got a name.
I also wanted to know, the journal mentioned that they went to the tomb, right? Or just they studied it?
Yes.
So would the Phantom like have any recollection of anything important that they discovered?
It seems all my memories of that are locked away in my journal.
And do you happen to remember where you put your journal?
Well, last time I put it, it was in this room, but who knows where Airmail put it since then.
Searching for it just in case it is still in here.
Yeah.
And we'll just go on that prior investigation check, which was 17 or something like that. So it is not in this room. For sure.
Oh, right.
There's one more room to this place, though, because as you entered this room, the spiral staircases continued till there was a ladder going up to an attic.
Well, we definitely don't want to go there. Definitely not to the ladder. I'll go up, I guess.
I think let's also reassure her that we'll do everything we can to try and help free her as well.
Yes,
She's
and
been quite helpful.
Please rescue my Armel. He's not a bad man, he's just had bad luck.
He's just misunderstood, isn't he?
Oh. RNG is a bitch, my lady. We all know this. We all know this.
Arn, what now?
RML NG.
Yeah.
RN Jesus, your new Lord and Savior.
Oh. All right. So if you would like to do anything else in this room, let's see if I put anything else of note here with my notes. No notes. Raven's Tower. Anything in here? Nope. Just pretty much the journal. The summary and summation came out of summarization. Go brain.
There must not be a great divide between hemispheres or something. It's like you throw two words together and they always mishmash.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's not much in this room other than personal effects belonging to Raven. Some effects that may belong to him or may not, but you find a hairbrush, a piece of jewelry like a brooch with a single raven feather on it. So maybe some belongings from Fionaro as well. Ooh, and you do find a note reflecting on Viola's state of mind from Raven's perspective. Viola grows ever more turbulent. Her temperament is as unpredictable as a storm. One moment a gentle breeze of reason, the next a howling gale of fury. She warns me against my current course, speaks of unforeseen consequences, but she does not understand. She has not felt the crushing weight of loss, the agonizing emptiness that consumes me. I must do this. I must see Fionaro again and guide her to the light of Yothai, even if that means venturing into Helheim to do so. So one way or another, he would, now that he detects her presence with her soul, if it ends up going back to Helheim, he'll go back in there and get it out. That's what he's determined to do now. And that's everything here, unless you would like to go out onto the balcony. On the west side, you do see the Great Ward. As you walk, if you were to walk out, you would just be there.
Yeah, I'll take a quick look down, see if there's anybody or anything else outside the tower, lurking near the tower, around the tower, above the tower.
All right. So you push open the balcony doors. They're locked. But you're like, through me, and you open the doors. And so the lock suppressed for a minute. You walk outside. I need you to make a perception check, please.
I hope there's no flying undead outside. That'd be just our luck, wouldn't it?
Certainly, Tinreza. Nope.
Ironically. Ooh, okay. Perception 16. 17. Damn. Okay.
So you notice just before it hits your face, the meteor falls. I'm kidding. So
Farewell.
So you observe the night. It's very still and quiet night. It's a starless sky, and the Great Ward has a faint glow that illuminates some of the surrounding area. And as you look down at the ward, you see a figure standing there, staring up at you, unmoving, Not making a sound. I hope Kate can hear this.
Just observing.
Just observing.
It's our buddy, isn't it, the stalker?
Just watching.
That's what he does.
What's he doing inside the ward? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, you saw him in the ward when you first met him. And then you saw him outside of the ward, and the warlock claims he has never left the ward. And then
But
he's
he's
in the
actually-
ward again.
So he's not actually outside. He's not. When I say he's in the ward, he's not actually managed to breach the ward and get actually into the town, has he? He's still in the ward at the moment.
Well, he's in
Or
the
is he
ward
actually-
right now. But since you met him on the road and almost managed to prevent him from doing what he wanted to do, and as he absconded with a couple strands of Tinra's hair, he definitely does leave the ward, and I guess go back in to keep up appearances within the town that he's never left the ward.
Yeah, my question wasn't more. It was more about the fact that that ward is meant to keep him out. So if he's actually in the ward, he's found a way to breach it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has a way in and out.
Whether or not they see him or not is another matter. He uses some kind of optical illusion to make it look like he never moves from outside the ward, but he obviously has found a way in.
Either way, if it's an illusion, actually, you know what? You can actually get past this. Because with Tinra, you're joining Valentil. You say, oh, the stupid observer is down here again. You can go ahead and make an investigation.
If he's got any blooming red hair in his hand, I'm going to be really annoyed. What
He's
check am I
flaunting
doing?
it. He's flaunting,
He's flaunting it at me. Yes, he's flaunting it at me. Stalker.
Best hair in the world.
Yeah, well, it is actually. Anyway, so what check am I doing?
This is investigation to discern an illusion if there is one.
20. Let's just check if I've got any pluses on the investigation. I can't remember.
Was that a nat 20?
Yeah, it was a 20. Investigation.
I gotta write down nat 20.
No, I've got a 0, so 0. So there's no pluses on that.
With a nat 20, you can tell that this is definitely not an illusion. He seems to be going in and out of his own volition.
Well, that makes the day even better, or the night even better, I should say. Yippee! Not.
But he's definitely keeping up appearances, speaking of illusions and appearances.
Yeah.
That he's never left the ward in town, and something he seems to be determined to maintain in the town space.
Yeah, so
So-
that people don't panic, probably. Well, we already know that he's sentient anyway, don't we? I'm just thinking about the fact that he's able to come and go at will past that ward. So that kind of indicates he's got some kind of knowledge of Aramil's magic, hasn't he, then?
That, or your mind harkens back to the burrowers underground, that it's more likely that there's a tunnel under the tomb.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think we really want to follow him to see where he goes back down into the ground, do we? We need to
Well,
finish work off here, but that's a nice little tidbit for us to investigate later.
Wonder if he works for a very foolish wizard.
For clarification, is this ward like surrounding the tomb in town?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is this ward is covering half of the town of Ravenhorn, and this area is known as Blighthorn by the locals. And it encompasses the tomb, and I don't know how many acres it would be, but a very large swath of the market district of the town.
And this would be like the same tomb that they were investigating.
Yeah, this is the very same tomb.
I'm getting tired of this. Let's go raid the tomb. We'll be tomb raiders. Let's go do it.
Let's do that in the morning, maybe. We've still got to get inside this other person's head, haven't we? The one who's unconscious. It might be a good idea to do that first and see what her knowledge adds to the situation.
Well, didn't he say it was going to be like several days?
2 days. So
2 days.
in the morning, it would be 1 day, and then you have 1 more day until the concoction
You
is
could
ready.
always
Okay.
that wood wasn't very far away, was it? Where the mages when they were meeting up. You could always investigate that.
Featherwood?
Meantime, yeah, the featherwood.
Yeah. Just a reminder that there is, unless it moved on, that 3-headed basilisk that is down there
I hadn't forgotten
Yeah,
about
that was
that.
also back. Yeah,
underground, so that's still there.
Yes,
and
I can
other
stay
kind
there
of-
for a while, as far as I'm concerned. It can enjoy its holiday destination.
I don't know, we've gotten a lot stronger. I think we could take him. Just 1 or 2 shots from our mighty magic and we'll take him down.
You can
Yeah,
go
just
at
don't
the
look
front
at
then
it.
when it turns you into stone.
One of its heads does that.
Sorry? I thought all
One
my
of
passives
its
all do that, don't they? I think
Yeah,
they,
one
so
of
they have a death glare, don't they?
so yeah, one of its heads petrifies, another
Oh, great! It's got lots of them.
grinds, and another just kills.
Yeah, that sounds like a picnic, doesn't it?
I wonder if it's like a snack of observer. So okay, does the observer observe that we've observed it?
He's staring up at you. He's looking right at you.
So you see, I was gonna say
I
we
think
could.
it's a bit hard for us to hide from him, isn't it? Given the fact he's actually looking up and spying on us already.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to hide. I was just gonna say something really loud or whatever, pretending he's not there, just like throw him off or be like, "Oh, let's totally go find those hags." Those isn't that what we were kind of assuming, that he's somehow affiliated with them? Wasn't that?
The journal mentioned that he's leading the hag cover.
They work for him. They work for him, don't they? Basically.
The
Right.
undead hags.
Right.
Yes, we know that now because they've come from being drawn through at the same time, haven't they? Really?
All coming
Spirit.
together.
Yep, spirits that came through the portal when it opened the rift. And whether these were hags in the past or the spirits just inhabiting hags' bodies, unknown. But they're not of this world. And one of them is has already had its sights on our new, which has nightmares, and it's a night hag. But I at least know that they're not alive, so they can theoretically, unless they're resistant to it, be turned.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. So that's a turn off the books, isn't it? Let's hope that they can be turned, and I don't have a bad roll on that when we encounter them. Anyway,
Alright.
let's not let that get distract us from our sort of searching for this journal. Anyway, let's just give him a friendly wave, just so he knows that he's been observed.
And he just stares right on back.
I'll flip him a raven.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You almost can see him clench his fists.
He can be instigated. All right. Okay, so we're oh wait, so we're still
I've got another idea actually. Do we mention the make it sound as if we found the Archwizard as well? Because just in case they are enemies, it might be worth kind of implying that to bait him, see if he reacts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it seems let's see. It's kind of far away and there's a ward in the way. Let's see.
Like what?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
So he gets a nat 1 on his perception or insight or whatever, trying to determine what's going on. So he just continues to stare at you. He
Big
doesn't
dummy.
seem to pick up what you're putting down.
Wait. Do we have any of the guys' clothes?
Yeah, there'd be clothes in this place.
I'm
He
just thinking
opens his
maybe
closet, and it's the same robe every day.
right.
Yeah, maybe we try and have someone dress up as him, so it
He
looks
does-
like he's returned.
He doesn't know about oh, sorry, Vinces, I forgot about what's your name again?
Verdan.
Verdan, there you go. He doesn't know Verdan's in our party yet. So if we all were out there and then Verdan, just kind of backs his way out there wearing the stuff, we could be like, hey, Armel, so great to see you again, and everything, and we could see if the guy flips out. Maybe.
Sure.
I mean, it's wacky, but hey, the observer maybe he's not very bright. His
Okay.
perception is crap. So
You dress up.
Yeah.
Cosplay.
On the corner, I'm like, guys, don't look.
Ah. All right. Well, if you're dressing up, a few moments later, you step out into the balcony. What do you do? What do you say?
I walk up and I guess Valentil would be like, RML. And I just try, since I don't know, like, what this is really.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't interacted with it. I pretty much just try to talk like how I think RML would. I'm just trying to, like, see if I can bait him into any kind of reaction by talking as I think he would, I guess.
You could mention the dragon egg or something, couldn't you? Or the drag.
Yeah. I used the information from like the journal and stuff like that. Talking about
But
the dragon egg.
and make sure we want to add his head is down. It's like we're kind of like, and like we come up and kind of we're helping him because it seems like we've helped him recover, so that way the observer can't actually observe his face because we don't know how well he knows that. So it's just the figure dressed as a wizard, and we're talking. He's Papa Pichu and all that kind of stuff.
All right, go ahead and make a performance check with advantage because there's people helping you.
All right. How do I do it with advantage? Forgot.
You right click it.
That's right.
You get good and get 2 d20s. Or you right click it and hit roll with advantage, and that should work. Yeah.
11.
It's not great,
That's
but it's not terrible. So you do an average job of portraying the Archwizard. And the observer, let's see, continues to stare at you. And then ultimately he just turns and walks away. Not hastily or anything like that. Just very slowly starts to walk back towards Raven's End.
Is he heading in the direction of the tomb by any chance?
Yep.
Yippee. It's a place that's like last on my list of things to visit.
Oh, nuts! Oh man, wait a minute. I had a thing. Don't I have a thing? Is it something where I can like project an illusion temporarily? It doesn't have any form or anything. Did I miss that? No. No, that's not that.
It'd be minor illusion, but you already had advantage with the roll.
Yeah, no, yeah. It could have just been a little more performance enhancing. Okay, cool. All right. Well, up to the attic then, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Last place, right?
Mm-hmm.
You dress back as Verdun. As your ploy may or may not have actually worked. Maybe he got roused. Maybe he just got bored looking at you and decided to leave. But you make your way to the attic. Oh, look, I labeled it. So I knew what it was.
The thing is, how did he know that we were in there? I mean, he obviously he must have sensed something had changed.
You gather that he's often patrolling the ward.
So he just got lucky then.
Evidently just got lucky.
Or if he's enemies with the Archwizard, he's just staring at his house angrily all the time.
Or the other thing is he knew you were coming before you got here.
Which I guess would be, oh, what if he's the dude who was messing with what's-her-face?
Could be.
That would make sense that he would know. And then he would have come just because maybe a severing, like he would have realized that she kicked him out after that was broken, so he could have just come to check out and see what that was. In any case, we've got a journal to find and a crypt to raid. And other places to go. So.
And new spells to pick in order to encounter stuff in the crypt as well.
All right.
Yeah.
So the warding rune. Yeah, that's right. So you see a big rune on the floor. This thing you see here. Excellent. And in the center of the room is a small pedestal with a small little sapling growing from a pot in the middle of the pedestal. And on the pedestal is hanging from the sapling is a small amulet. A golden amulet with a raven skull in gold, like a gold carving in the middle with 2 ravens crossed. So that is dangling from the tree of the sapling. You see a ring attached to a string with a black opal in the middle, emitting a faint glow that is also hanging from the sapling. The sapling looks not great, like it hasn't been watered in a month. but it doesn't look dead. So someone was definitely maintaining the sapling up here.
Hmm.
And on this pedestal as well is a faded-looking journal.
Before
somebody-
someone like reaches up to grab it, can I maybe make like an Arcana check on the jewelry?
Yep.
See if it's enchanted with anything.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Dirty 20.
Nice. So you see, well, first of all, around you, the ward seems to be glowing similarly to how the ring is glowing as well. So it seems like this ring is powering this rune that is in this room. And with a dirty 20, you can tell that this room is definitely some type of abjuration magic specifically designed to prevent divination magic from affecting this place. No one can spy on anything when they're in here.
That's reassuring.
Hmm.
I'm just a bit worried about us if we try to unravel this in case it has some kind of impact on the wider ward over the town.
So you get with that dirty 20, you know that this ring is definitely powering the anti-divination rune that's in here. And
It could
that's
also
about
be potentially empowering other stuff as well, though, couldn't it?
it could. But at the very least, this room. And you know from the descriptions in the journal and gathered elsewhere within this place is that Clavin's orb is powering the great ward. Oh, gee, that's what I forgot to mention. As you were looking outside at the great ward, it flickered a little bit for a moment, as if going in and out of existence for a moment. That was the other key thing.
Yeah, it's got a crack in it, hasn't it, the orb? So we're on a time thing, really, with this.
Well, that's the case. I grab the journal or the diary or the book.
So this journal is, as best as it can be, being upkept just like the ancient tomes on the bookshelf, although a little bit more so. You can still read each entry, even though the journal is probably at least 50 to 100, 150 years old, maybe more, maybe even older. And as you open the book, it starts, of course, with the earliest entry. And checking the date, Valentil, this is about 14 years before the scorching of Dar al-Samar. So it seems like these are the early days, and then, so you're welcome to read those. You can read the middle ones, or you can just skip to the last ones if you'd like as well.
I'll start with
So
the last one
basically
first.
The first entries you can tell is just about talking about Dar al-Samurg and then eventually meeting a young Aramel and the things they shared in common. Just the major thing you learn about that is that she is a nature domain cleric.
Is there any mention in there of other mages who might have interacted with them around that time?
There is the rumors of a wizard who is conducting dangerous experiments with fire elementals and Robintage, the plane of fire, but that's it.
Why don't they name names? I mean, my gosh, what kind of gossip do you have in a town if you can't actually talk about the fool doing the stuff? Wizard. His name's Pidley. Pidley the Wizard. Headcanon.
I've mentioned it twice today and I forget it. I wrote it down. That's why I wrote it down. Ilrose or something.
Huh? Ilrose?
Ilroser, Alroser, Ildoster, whatever his name is. I'll include it in the session notes. But yeah, it just goes through basically a similar timeline to Raven's journal, just from her perspective. And then the final entry. Okay. So the final entry says, I am afraid. The whispers have become louder, more insistent. They call my name, beckoning me to join them in the darkness. I feel weaker each day, my connection to the natural world fading. I have tried to speak to Aramel about my fears, but he is consumed by his own research. I do not want to leave him, but I fear my time in this world is coming to an end. This place, it will claim me. And that's it.
Probably the same mechanism that was affecting the Jarl as well, if the sort of voices and whispering in the head, and that she was having to fight it.
All right, I'm
Could
going to
be.
flip through and just try to. I'm looking for something like the inception, the moment where it's like, oh crap, things are happening. I feel the veil. So something a change in the status quo. It doesn't have to go all the way back to the beginning. I'm just kind of looking for like, today was an interesting day. I suddenly feel ethereal and things are not as they'd like to be, and just any kind of flag to that would be the trigger of her status going down this path and starting to hear about the whispers and stuff. I'm looking for that entry of inception, because I'm sure that would make the journal somewhere.
Yes. So it's about halfway. Let's see how many entries. Yeah. So the middle entries. First impressions of Raven's End. Airmail is excited about his new research. He believes Raven's End holds a great many secrets, that we can learn much about the transition between life and death. But I feel uneasy here. The air is heavy, the earth feels cold and barren. It is as if the very life force of this place has been draining into Helheim. The trees around this tomb, to me, appear gnarled and twisted, even though I know their branches are full and healthy, like skeletal fingers. That's what I see. I pray this place does not consume him or consume me. And then the next entry is the winds carry whispers here, faint fragments of sound that seem to come from the beyond. I've tried to ignore them, to dismiss them as the wind playing tricks on my ears, but they persist. They speak of death and the void, unending cold. I can feel the veil thinning, the barrier between worlds becoming fragile. It is intentional. It is as if the dead are reaching out, trying to touch the living.
Foam.
Yeah, dog found foam. Don't need foam. Theater. Where the heck was I? More about chills and feeling bad.
Yeah, it's about the dead
then-
reaching out to them.
Yeah, the next entries are like starting to feel some symptoms. So dizziness, disoriented, chills running down the back of her spine, hearing whispers of the dead, and the next entry after that is the final entry, where they become louder, seem to be beckoning her to the beyond.
So,
And
it basically starts after they've started visiting the tomb, and I presume they were going back regularly for research purposes and actually going in them. So it's something to do with the tomb itself.
the tomb itself, and she's a nature domain cleric, so she has a deep connection to nature. That's the only clue that you can glean from these journal entries.
Okay. Well, seeing as how none of us, at least as far as I know, are, I don't know, elf hippies, I don't think we have to worry about succumbing to what she went through, but something to keep in mind, I suppose.
I think we need to think about what spells we pick as well before we go in there. Because at the moment, I don't have the right spells for that type of situation.
Yeah, just explosions, I suppose. Hang on. After Verdun did the Arcana check, do we know what? Is there some power in the jewelry? Because it was like you said, there was like a necklace with the ravens and everything. Like they're draped on the tree. Any chance? I don't want to pilfer, but if these could be used to good effect, I wouldn't mind having them until we can reunite them with their original owner. If there is some arcane or other benefits to them,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're wasted on this little tree here. I don't know why a tree needs to have superpowers. So I'm tempted to pilfer on a temporary basis.
So the amulet seems to be very important to both Flavin and Krumi, Fianaro and Armo. You see the two raven feathers and then the raven skull. So there's the connection and the imagery there. So that is why it is hanging on the sapling. The ring, magic in my lore is cast using orbs, that kind of stuff, and different sized orbs. So until you use a large orb because you're a wizard. And so whenever you cast magic, your orb kind of orbits around you, because that's the larger ones have that nature inherent to that inherent quality to them as they orbit when you're casting spells.
The
For
orbs
Verdan,
orbit, huh?
yeah, the orbs orbit. For Verdan, you have a staff, so you're lore-wise a mage. You have a slightly smaller orb that can fit in a staff, and it can cast different types of magic as well. Wizards technically can cast the most powerful magic with their orbs. Mages are pretty close second, and sorcerers tend to use rings and that kind of stuff. And other magic users that don't need to cast meteor storm or something like that, like clerics, rangers, they tend to use smaller orbs as well, smaller orbs in their arcane foci. So this ring is definitely, as you can piece together from all the journals, Fianaro's ring that she used when she was casting magic, and Flavin Airmail has used it to power the anti-divination rune in here. So removing it will remove the safe haven of this place being a hub against being spied on, like the scrying spell.
Maybe we leave that one.
Yeah, I think we should. I don't think it's wise to give the observer any more information.
Fine. So I'm wondering if we would at least then do the necklace just to show to Mrs. Phantom, and just see if it triggers anything, or if she has anything to say about it, and then if nothing impressive about it, we just drape it back over the sapling.
Sure. What kind of information are you looking for from the Phantom?
Whether it's pure sentimental value, whether it's got some kind of powers, or value besides just a representation. Where it came from, perhaps was it a wedding gift, or a gift of some kind, of proposal thing, or was it just a trinket from a nearby traveler jewelry man? The history and possible value of it beyond sentiment.
So you take this amulet, and the whole tower explodes.
Woo! But I'm okay, because plot armor.
All right. So you take the amulet, descend the ladder and the stairs, and enter the bedroom. Show the amulet to the Phantom, and she looks at it and says, "Oh, you found our amulet. I had one too. It's very important to both of us." And do you ask anything in particular?
Does it do anything? Or is this purely sentiment?
Do anything, as in, has any magic properties?
No. So, on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being it's metal, it's gold and jewel or gem or whatever, and that's it, all the way up to makes the wearer invulnerable, being a 10. Is it a 0 to 10 on a scale of effect?
Well, it empowers us, filling us with hope and love. For that, I would rate it a solid 8 out of 10.
Oh gosh. Valentino throws up in his throat a little bit. Okay. Wow. All right. So worthless is what. No, I don't say that. That would be mean.
She tries to
Okay.
attack you. You can't.
Of
She's a
course.
phantom.
No. Okay. So pure. So I understood. It's a beautiful thing to behold. But I'm not going to be protected in any way or advance in any way. Neither any of us will be by wielding this thing. In other words, it should remain on the tree upstairs.
Yes. I would say it's going to be very important to Flavin to keep it there. He might not like what happened, given how personal a lot of this stuff is here, if you took it from me. When you
Well,
actually find
We got
it.
temporary bases. But okay, all right, we'll just stick it back on the tree. Then if it ain't gonna do
Yeah.
nothing,
It doesn't do anything for you anyways. It's just a twin feather amulet.
okay. I put it back on the tree,
All right.
and
Arnu, with your passive perception being 17, as you go to leave the room, you notice a page lying on the floor that wasn't there before, seemingly disturbed by the breeze that came in when you opened the doors to the balcony. And this page, again, is like all of Flavin's notes written in Elvish. I don't think you speak Elvish. So if you were to bring it over to Verdun or Valentino, they would be able to translate it and say that it's just a note that says Deathweaver and the Hags. It's just a very like bullet form note. It's not as eloquently written as the other notes and journal entries. Hopefully, Denise, you can still hear this. But the on the note it says
Yeah, I can hear it.
Hag powers the Deathweaver, or Hag powers to the Deathweaver, and some spells are listed like memory modification, enchantments, spying, that kind of stuff. And the question at the end is like, are the Hags giving power to the Deathweaver? Question mark.
So maybe we need to take them out first and we'll awaken him. Maybe.
So that seems to be what Flavin meant when the Hags are getting ridiculous. It seems that they and the Deathweaver together are supplying each other with powerful magic.
Okay. Well, if knowing is half the battle, we're halfway won. We know a lot of stuff now. I think it's time to do something that makes us roll for initiative.
Well, it depends on
We
you.
try and water this tree before we leave, because you said it maybe just, I don't know, maybe that needs to happen to keep it going.
Probably wouldn't
That's
hurt.
not been watered anymore.
Yeah, there'd be some water in the kitchen for sure. You're able to gather, because I don't
Do that
think
then.
anyone has nature magic to restore it magically. So yeah, you water the tree, which is a nice sentiment. Walking past the alley, I'm still waiting.
Oh, right. Krumi. No, sorry, no, not Krumi. Amarel.
Yes. Almost maybe Arameo. I was almost going to say, oh yeah, that's the pronunciation is, and I was going to pronounce it the same way. So yes, with Arameo, the lore question of the Alep is answered. I have a second riddle.
You've got to be kidding me. You're a very needy incorporeal.
I have the answers.
Yeah, you do have the answer for sure.
Okay.
It's because it's basically, I'll just read it normally. This time is two birds of the same feather until one to death had gone. astray in long shadows of grief, afraid of what the light reveals. Fording a sea of darkness on a quest to right a wrong, a sacrifice to make and a debt to pay for that which is concealed, for what is hidden. And with the amulet, everything together, two ravens together, you know that Raven means, at this point, would mean raven, and Hrumi means raven. So whereas the first riddle was about Armel and Ermel being Raven,
This one would be Krumi.
this one would be Hrumi and Feanor.
And he bestows upon us a sword that will slice hags in two.
Alright. And now, I will pass on my final knowledge to anyone willing. It will be unpleasant. You will become a host of lore.
I've been called worse. What
Alright.
does that mean exactly?
He's going to possess you,
What?
so you can fill your mind with the last lore he has.
He can't just say it?
It's not
This
how
is the-
Aleps work.
Aleps suck.
I'm speeding this up. You normally in their description entry says it takes years, and it makes them. It's somewhere in the description. It's like it takes years for them to pass on their lore. But I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do it instantly because who has that much time? And now
Right,
it might
this is
have
not
time
the Ents.
to share its knowledge or lore to escape its curse and enter the afterlife. It can transfer knowledge from its mind by guiding another creature to write down what it knows. This can take days or possibly weeks. I'm like, nah, no.
Well, so it's only a temporary thing then?
Nah, the
No.
possession is, yeah. It's just like, boop, ah, and then your head has the knowledge.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like I was going to have to walk around with that guy hanging out.
Verdan will do it.
Nice. I was going to suggest that only Verdan would have the courage for such a thing.
All right, his final knowledge is a journal entry from Krumi's journal, because as you were flipping through, there was a page missing. So either someone ripped it out deliberately to hide the knowledge there, or because it was important knowledge to have close at hand. But the entry reads, the locals tell tales of the warlock Yggdraf Hugensson, the founder of Ravenhorn, and his battle with the giant gorgon Asphodela. They say he pursued her from Guard Harbor, and he fought her. Let me try that again. They say he pursued her from Guard Harbor to Raven's Perch, where he eventually pursued her to Raven's End, where the two ravens, Hugin and Moonin, guided him across the sea to where the tomb site sits now. Some say he, being Yggdraf, petrified her, Asphodela. Others say that they both turned into stone. But what struck me as odd is the connection they make to this place. They say that echoes of their past battle still rings throughout the land. Could it be that they are still alive? Because when you're petrified, you cease to age.
Hmm.
And will one of them break free? And then the journal entry ends there, saying, could the venom of Asphodela or the magic used against her have weakened the barrier between life and death? If you want to make a history check with that lore now, Verdan, you live. It's a little bit of an obscure lore. So yeah, just a normal history check.
$19.
Let's see, what's the DC? The DC was 18 for all of them, so you learn all this information. You'll recall all this information, but the app also fills you with the missing gaps. related to Asphodel specifically. So, with start at the bottom, the giant Gorgon's name is Asphodella. She can transform into a massive snake and a basilisk, a rare trait. Most Gorgonids can't transform, but some can transform into snakes and rarely into basilisks. The warlock Yggdrath, with the next piece of information, who founded the frontier village of Ravenhorn, fought with clansmen against this creature. It was said that he turned to stone as he killed Asphodella. No one knows for sure because no one's really gone down to check. The fight was underground. And the final piece of information is once a mortal woman, Asphodella was transformed into a monstrous being when the world serpent Jardragander's venom coursed through her veins after a ritual went wrong. And there you go. That may be an explanation for the basilisk. Or it could just be a three-headed basilisk.
Coincidence?
It just, they're ticklish, I hear. That's their secret weakness. Jesse, you're muted again, somehow.
Sorry, I had to. I was typing a name in here. As you see, you just have to rub them on their tummy. But everybody knew that's common knowledge. We didn't need them to tell us that.
Belly rubs.
All right. All right, so have we watered the tree, or we were on the way, right? And then the guy was like, hey, and we told him, and then he did all this stuff. And so we're back on our way down to the kitchen, right?
Yeah, and you get the water, and you water the tree, and everything is tipsy doodle. I don't think that's a thing.
No, it sounds horrible. I don't want to be tipsy doodle. Unless I find some spirits and I become tipsy doodle, then I'm fine. But and the smoke guy vanishes, right?
Yes, he vanishes. Thank you.
Yay.
And he fades away. And Verdan, you are no longer being possessed by that thing.
No longer convulsing.
Exactly.
And since I was under the impression this guy was like an evil wizard, I won't steal from him on the way out. I feel a little bad now.
Like Krumi's Phantom said, he's not a bad man, he's just had bad luck.
Yeah.
Like Tinra, somehow. Alrighty.
Elmira be praised.
Alright.
Alright.
So that is everything in its power, I believe, unless you want to look at anything else in particular in here. But you've done a thorough search of this place, and have definitely confirmed that the egg is not here.
Right. Yeah, which was ironically the reason we came here. But
Yeah.
okay.
But you learned a lot of information about what caused the rot blight.
Right. And what's her name still sitting chilling down there? Jarl.
Yep.
Jarlvina.
Yaroskona Ravina.
All right.
I guess we
can eat ourselves out of this abysmal tower, full of pain and horrible memories and crappy little ghosts with no help at all. Okay. All right. Out of the tower we go.
Surprisingly no traps.
Yeah. I was braced for that, but
Nice.
I guess he figures once you know the password, you're good to go. All right.
There's only two people who knew the password, and that would be Raven himself and the dragon.
Right.
Seeing as Raven wasn't around to provide you with any information, and the dragon's like, people need to know stuff. So they're gonna help find him.
So
he gave you the password in trust.
So, okay, so should our next goal be to go to the longhouse, find the egg, and bring the egg to the tower? Because unless somebody else learns the password, that's probably going to be the safest place for it to be while we go off and do our thing.
Do you discuss this with the Jarl, Gona?
Oh, I discuss it with the party first to see what they think, and then if they agree, then we might mention it to the crazy lady.
Could even put in that top room that like no divination magic can go
Yeah.
through. So no one would
Yeah.
even see it there.
Yeah, I think that'd be a bomb diggity thing. Ye old bomb diggity
Yeah.
plan. Yeah.
Valentino, something sticks out in your mind as
Ouch.
you are.
Oh,
Yeah, yes, very painfully. You take 18 psychic damage.
of course I do.
Something sticks out in your mind,
Hmm.
and is that the only two people who knew of the location. Yes, the only two people who knew of the location of the egg was the Yaroscona and the Archwizard. And so one of them betrayed the location of the egg to whoever hired Zenak and to Zenak himself. And he managed to procure the egg and take it back to the mainland. And then, if you remember Zenak, what he said is he believes that Fabriel hired him to steal
Right.
the egg. But he wouldn't have been able to steal it if he didn't know the location of the egg.
Right, so somebody was communicating with Fabrio, if he was the one who
Mhm.
commissioned it.
Just to put that out there.
Yeah, maybe you ought to go back to the tavern if he's still there. And
I'm curious, it's only been, what, half hour?
Yeah, I would say at this point, let's see, doing a little thorough investigation, it would probably be at midnight or 1 a.m. at this point.
Okay. Well, it's long enough for me to have taken care of business, so my cover's not blown, and
Yeah, very important.
yeah, we'll see if we can find him before I want to ask him before I say anything to Jarl Vina, Jarl Skova Vina.
Find Fabriel? That would mean leaving the tower, going back to the tavern.
Right. Is there anything else we wanted to do in the tower?
No, I don't think so.
All right, if you excuse me for just a moment, I'm going to close these blinds.
Yeah, I was wondering how you were not being blinded because you are radiant.
yeah, that looks
is that-
painful.
Oh, I'm having psychic problems with psychically moving. Oh, I did it the first time. Oh, there I go again. Thank you. So, you get to the bottom of the stairs into the first floor. And the Earl is still there sitting, but she stands up when you approach. Have you found what you came here for?
From a certain point of view.
All right. Well, seeing as I can't leave without you saying what the password is, I will cover my ears. And she covers her ears.
Groomy.
The doors swing towards you this time and hit you.
Son of a bitch!
They swing outward.
I knew there were traps. I knew it.
So, as you step outside, you immediately hear frantic yelling. And at the top of your, ringing out near the longhouse, you hear a voice shouting, Abdragonga, Lorsem hell! And it seems that creature that they feared might come from the dungeons in the longhouse has broken free and risen again. And Ravina perks up at this and says, Abdragonga, we have to quickly get to the longhouse before it discovers us out here. Who's strong? And probably looks at Jinra.
Say, it surely isn't me. We've already covered that bit of ground there.
Oh, is she expecting me to carry her there, is she, or something?
No, she just asks who's strong. And then she says, Torfjörður, the man who usually accompanies me as I walk around the city. Unfortunately, I may have knocked him out when I came to investigate this when I was enchanted. He is in the nearby house, and he's in the closest house here. I need you to retrieve him, and we need to hurry back to the longhouse before the creature sees us.
Two of us can maybe go. Two of us with meager strength might make one person with decent strength.
I think we all go. Otherwise, one person could get ambushed or something. We don't know for sure. This is. If she might be under the influence again. We don't know, do we? I mean, he
don't
was
know.
hanging around outside, so let's just all go to be on the safe side.
All right, so you all go to the nearby house. The door is unlocked, but you kick it open because of the urgency of the situation. And sure enough, you find him lying on the ground. You can quickly do a medicine check. He's definitely still alive, just unconscious. So you manage to pick him up and carry him, make your way back to the longhouse. As you approach, you see a creature on the roof, tearing the roof apart, stomping the roof in, throwing chunks all over the place. And then he jumps off to the backside of the house as well. The longhouse. And one of the support beams at one of the sides gets broken and smashes entirely. So this creature is definitely tearing the longhouse apart from the outside.
Probably looking for the egg, isn't it?
Or just trying to get in, even though the front doors are open. And if you recall last time, they have a condition where they are forbidden to enter a place unless they're invited. But that doesn't mean they can destroy the entire place.
Well, that's cheating.
So the Aptraganga is on the roof, and you manage to make it inside with due haste. Alright, place you on the map here. I'm forgetting something. No, she is. Alright. Alright, so you all make it to the longhouse. Ravina quickly heads off to her own room, and she's exhausted.
Wait, while it's being torn down, she goes to go take a nap?
She just goes into her room and just collapses on her bed, exhausted. She barely makes it though.
Maybe the possession thing that was affecting her for such a long period of time. Maybe it has a similar physical effect to the stuff that was draining the other lady until she died.
With below that, it could have, or just when your mind's fighting another mind within your mind, can take its toll on you. But this is the situation. As you walk into the longhouse, you see frantically running around, gathering wood from around the various places where there's wood stacked inside the longhouse. A bunch of the occupants are trying to build a very large fire in the center of the room. And as you and the Jarl's going to enter the longhouse, one of the berserkers in the room turns to you. And he says, "Ah, thank goodness you've come, and you've brought the Roscona with you. We need your help. That creature is tearing this longhouse apart." And as he speaks, you see another chunk of the roof get torn off, and you look up and you see the Aptragangas. They're looking in. I'm just picturing going, "Hello."
Hello! Abagonga, dang it.
Yes. The again walker is there. So, I don't know which one of you did it, but I know it was one of you. Tried to burn this corpse. You had the right idea, but burning it is not enough. You need to completely incinerate this creature, but we need to time this perfectly. So, which one of you can build a fire?
I sheepishly wave my hand, or raise my hand, because I don't want to admit that I caused this.
Alright. He already knows one of you did, but he's not mad at it. He's just like, you tried to do something. They
I'm not
understand.
mad. I'm just disappointed. She
Yeah.
did do a better job.
All right. Well, you man the flames. The rest of you, who is the strongest among you? We need someone to volunteer to invite this creature inside so we can take it head on.
I'm sorry. Did you say someone needs to volunteer?
Volunteer.
Ah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say I do have Sacred Flame as well, but I'm not sure whether that's relevant or not, because it would be like a fiery-based thing. Flame-like radiance descends on a creature that you can see within range. It must succeed at dexterity saving throw or take radiant damage. So that might be an option for us as well.
Can, but
Is radiant
well,
damage quite the same thing as flame damage? Well,
it's a different damage type.
Yeah, but it's a Sacred Flame. It might still do it some damage or slow it down or distract it or something.
Yeah. The condition of that spell is you have to see it, and oftentimes when he's on the roof, he has complete cover unless he rips a chunk off. So there's that at least. But yeah, these guys are frantically running around trying to build the fire, and some of them are positioned at the back door, where they're preparing to face this creature head on. And he's just asking for volunteers to help fight this creature. All right, who's going to fight it with me? He looks to you guys.
I look over my shoulder.
we can
Like,
go outside and try to fire. We can try to fire it
We all
from the
look very,
outside.
we all look very enthusiastic.
If I'm tending to the fire, am I like able to ever like occasionally
Oh yeah.
throw a spell? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then I volunteer too.
Excellent. All right, now, which one of you would like to do the honors of inviting this creature in?
Why aren't you so keen on inviting it in, just out of curiosity?
Well, no reason at all.
I'm an NPC.
You mean it? You mean it attacks whoever whoever invites it in? It attacks them out of gratitude.
Not necessarily, but you're part of this town now. We thought you'd like to be a part of it more.
I'm quite happy if you want to invite it in. Thank you very much.
Don't mind doing it.
There you go,
Don't
Arnu.
mind. Spoken like a true shield maiden.
It's a bit fishy in my book that he doesn't want to do it himself.
Right. Well,
Well,
it just has to be invited, and it doesn't really matter who does it.
nobody
It's just
wants
hard.
to do it, but
It's just
that's,
Just be very polite. Maybe it'll be nice.
yeah.
dodgy.
What's
You
it
don't have
called
a
again?
name for this guy.
They called Oi. Come in.
All right. So before you invite him, and he's still on the roof stamping the place out, arrange yourselves in how you want to be positioned for the fight. So we'll say this guy, he's a big burly guy, he's at the front. This guy has a shield, so he'll be at the front. This guy's going to hang around the side here. So he's going to be coming in from the back door. That would
Right,
be this
okay.
area here.
Yes.
So arrange yourselves how you want to be. You can be as close to the door as you want, or you can be as close to the fire as you want. But I will
It's on my
say,
door.
if you're right there, he's definitely coming for you.
I was gonna say I'm probably gonna have to like be hanging around the fire like most of the time, huh?
So Tinra is back there behind the other shield maiden. Ready? Okay.
Well, I think it makes sense to try and get a few range attacks in as well before we have to engage it directly.
Nice.
What am I standing on? Is this a bed? Is this a dresser?
Well, yeah.
Bookshelf?
Oh, yeah. My beautiful drawings.
Yeah.
That is a table.
Oh, I see. They got the little legs going down. Okay.
Yeah. See the artistry?
I do. It's like kind of that isometric view. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So you're in a different room entirely then.
Am I?
So, yeah.
Oh, because that's the line right there.
Yep.
That's a wall.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
very,
wall.
very hard to see. Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And is this the doorway right here?
Yep. That's the entranceway. Let me get these out of here.
There we go.
There you go. Now you can actually see that. All right. And yeah, this will be the last for the day. So I'll have everyone roll initiative. Just get the pre-initiative out of the way.
Heck on it. Ooh.
I got 18. I don't know if we don't get any extras on top of that, do we? It's just a flat number, isn't it?
Whatever your initiative bonus is.
I never
Um,
know.
I got 18.
18. If I got any bonuses, let's have a look.
22.
I got 21.
Oh,
Oh,
you guys
plus
rolled-
2. So that's I've got 20 then because it's plus 2 for my initiative bonus.
You guys rolled excellent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I will roll for our zombie friend. Ugh. So that's not great. So he's going to get I think he has a -1 to initiative. All right.
What a loser.
What a complete loser. He is a zombie. He doesn't have functioning legs entirely.
Oh, now I feel bad. He's gonna look ridiculous.
Oh, utterly ridiculous. Yeah, -1 to that modifier. All right. So the berserker standing in the middle of the room yells, "Thorvin, get down here, where I can see you." And after a few moments of wood breaking, you see slowly coming around the corner into view is the Apdraganga. And scattered around the ground where the Apdraganga is standing, you see a couple bars of the jail cell that he was in. And he bends down and picks up 2 of the bars and holds them. All right. Let's see. What would we call you? Who call you? All right, Fenrir's child. Invite him in.
In.
Yeah.
General hospitality once more.
So he's invited in.
Something.
And he slowly walks in, and as he walks past the door frame, the 2 bars he's holding scrapes against the opening. And since you're standing right there, because you've positioned yourself just so, rather than back further, he's going to come at you.
That makes sense.
This over here. And they actually have stat blocks integrated into maps now, which is actually fantastic, so I don't have to keep alt-tabbing back and forth. And he is going to take a swing. Okay, there's a natural 14 on the dice. That's going to be a 20 to hit, so he's going to do some damage.
I thought we had initiative. Did he outroll us then? I thought we'd done quite well for initiative.
Yeah, so after this happens, then it'll be initiative.
Right, okay. So it's like a...
Opening.
Yes, the opening blow. So you're going to take 9 points of bludgeoning damage as he leaps into the air and comes smashing down. And you try and get out of the way, but he just gets your elbow with the attack, with a big crunch. And what is your strength score? It's definitely not 17, I don't think. More than 17. So you are knocked prone
Oh,
as he hits you with his full force. All right. And he gives you, and then he's going to go for his second attack. Yep. So it's going to hit with a 20 again. And you're going to take 7 more points of bludgeoning damage.
Good gravy.
And that is the end of its turn, and then we start the initiative order. I think who's on the top here? Valentino, you're actually up first.
Right. So he's still standing there. Has he come in further because of our, okay.
It's kind of like here-ish.
Okay, he's in range. So I'm gonna send out crawling lightning.
Nice. I think that's a to hit there.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one instead. Here we go. Well, that sucks. That's a 9.
He doesn't have his super high armor class, but a 9 will not hit, unfortunately. You send the surging bolt of electricity, and it misses. Now you're still concentrating on it, so it's not gone entirely. So it's still in the general vicinity, but it misses the Aptaganga.
As I meant to do. Don't worry, folks. I've got a master plan. It's going to come back around. Just give it another turn.
Yes. But you have a bonus in movement if we want to use it.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is your turn. So the next up, since you're on the ground, basically since there's one creature in a million of you, he's just going to take different rounds of combat. A few different terms interspersed between your turns. So he's going to use one of his quote-unquote legendary actions after the end of your turn to move away from Arnu and go after another one of the creatures, one of the raiders inside the room. Go for the one with the shield. With a 3 on the dice, will miss. So Verdun, it is now your turn. Oh, Arnu, technically you can take an attack of opportunity, but it's at disadvantage because you're lying on the ground.
Okay. I rolled 2, that was the worst one, so don't think that's going to hit.
So the powerful blow from the Aptaganga was strong enough to throw you off your game a little bit. And Verdun, it is your turn.
I did ask, but since I'm like tending to this fire, does that mean I have to like kind of hang around it for the most part?
No. It was just basically a flavor way of saying you build up the fire, so you would have done
Oh.
that in your preparations. So there's a really good fire going now. It's very hot.
He's waiting to call yourself out and know which one of you lit the guy on fire.
Yeah. And how much damage did Arnu take on her turn? Or his
16?
Yeah, I think it was 16 damage.
Jeez.
I'm gonna help them out and cast False Life on him.
On Arnu?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it as a second level.
All right. I think you get temporary hit points. Right?
Yeah.
And is it a range or is it touch?
Oh wait, never mind. It's self.
Self.
Never mind.
I'm
mind.
picturing it now. Here you go, Arnu. Oh no, just kidding. Oh, just kidding.
Oh.
Nope, sorry.
Never mind. I thought I was trying to do something helpful.
That's what makes it false health.
No worries.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot Scorching Ray at him.
Nice.
At
At second level? No, yeah,
Yeah,
that's ability at second
second
level. We don't have the 5th level yet. So yeah, I think it's 3 attack rolls.
3 of them in
Because
total.
3 rays.
14. 2 9s and a 14.
Okay, so the 14 will hit.
So I just roll 1 for the damage, right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, because what's there is for per ray of fire.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's 2d6 or something like that.
Yeah, 2d6 and I got a 10.
10 damage. Excellent.
And yeah, that's all I'll do for now.
Yes, are you staying put?
Yeah. I feel like there's enough meat shields in front of me.
All right. So one of the berserkers will then take his turn and run out. I know the order's a little bit different here, but they're all going after each other, so can mix things up a little bit. He tries to try and grab this thing, try and tackle this thing. So that is going to be on his part. That's terrible. No, but it's not much better on the other guy's part. So they meet with a stalemate. The Berserker tries to tackle this thing, it doesn't go to the ground, and the Upperganga doesn't move whatsoever. Alright, Tinrod, it's your turn.
I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt. 16. I don't know if that's good enough or not.
Yep,
Do I
that's
have?
good
I
enough
don't
to
think
hit.
I've got any. Okay. And so it's been a while since I've actually managed to hit anything with it, hasn't it? What's it say here? It says 46 plus 6. That seems an awful lot. Where's my d6 gone? 1. That's not a good start. Then 5, so that makes 6. Another 1, so that's 7.
Oh yeah,
Another
plus 6
1.
to hit. Yeah, it's plus 6 to hit and 46 damage. So 1.
Yeah, so I've rolled 3 1s out of that, and then a 5. I can't remember what the other bit was. I lost track part way through. So it was 3 1s and a 5 then.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that was great, wasn't it?
that's
Plus
slightly
6.
below damage. Yeah, that's a plus 6 to hit, so it's 8 damage total.
I mean, I got a 5 and then I got all these ones. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. The odds of rolling 3 of the same in a row is like
Yeah, well, I
less
got
than
I got a 5 in between, so I got like a 1, and
Oh,
I got a 5.
that's right. It was 1, then 5, then 1, 1.
Yeah,
1 in 400.
that
That's
was
pretty
great,
funny.
wasn't it? You got to laugh at it.
That's Tinra's luck right there.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn? Would you like to move anywhere?
Okay. So, just trying to see where I am in relation to Anu again. Just a sec.
There's a bunch of
Okay, I'll move.
yeah.
I'll kind of. So Anu's still on the floor. I can't really get to her through all those people, can I?
You have 30 feet of movement. So you were here. You can technically get to. You can get to our. Yeah, you can get to basically.
I'd have to go the long way around, wouldn't I? Because there's people are there, wouldn't? So
You
I'd
have to
probably
get
go the
through
long way
here.
around. So I
Yeah,
have to
it's
get
not.
past.
I can just get. I
Yeah,
can
it's
just get
not,
up on my turn, guys.
you
I was just
can.
thinking like I could do some healing on you next round while I don't want you taking much more damage like that because that was a heck of a lot.
You can get through the friendly creature's space. You just can't end your turn there. So you can't go through the Opterganga space, but you can go through the Reaver or the Shield Maiden space to get past them. To get closer to Arnu if you like.
I don't want to get too close to the ruddy thing in case it whacks me. Maybe I'll go the long way round. If I go the long way round, then how far can I get then?
So if you take the ruler tool, you can get to
Where's
10
that?
feet. I usually just click R.
So I was originally over here, wasn't I? So
Yeah, you can get to
so if
here.
I can get to there, I'll yeah, okay, I'll try and get around that way, and that way I'm not right in its line of vision.
Nice. All right. So next turn, the Upterganga is going to use one another of his quote legendary actions to try and get this guy off of him, which hits with the 17 plus stuff. So he's going to come down because basically the Berserker is at waist level trying to tackle this thing, but basically hit a wall essentially. So the Upterganga is going to come down with both fists and slam down for a big hit, and will do so, and then pick up the guy and throw him against the far wall, and he lands on the ground. And that is that turn. So he's unconscious on the ground over there. And Arnu, it is your turn.
I'd like to get up. I don't really like how much of that.
Half your
How
movement to
much of my
stand up.
turn is that and taking up? Is that pretty much the only thing I can do, or
No, you can. It's half your movement, so you still got your full action and bonus.
oh, cool. All right, then I want to Hunter's Market.
Nice.
And then hit it with a sword.
Nice.
It would be good.
Seeing it here.
See how that goes. Hmm. That is a 3, so that's not going to work.
It will not work, unfortunately, but you have advantage because of guiding bolt.
Weird. 16.
16 will hit. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, 15 actually.
Still hits.
Cool. Good. Okay, that's an 8.
All right, 8 more
Plus-
damage.
8. Plus 2, so that's 10 overall.
10 damage. That was with a d6?
Yep.
Did you roll 8 on a d6?
What did I do? That's a fair point.
That was a short sword damage. Oh, sorry. 5 plus 3, 8.
I'm cheating by accident.
So I
Well,
heard,
6 damage overall. Not me.
so it was 8 damage. So I heard 8 and then plus something for 10. I'm like, huh? But I can
Sorry,
see
that
that
was
here.
yeah.
It's okay. So I see on the 8 then. That's still a good chunk of
Yeah, okay.
damage. And it's not going to resist that. So it's the meat. Oh, plus your hunter's mark, right? Is that where that came from?
Oh yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it is 10.
Yeah, it's fair from Jam. 2 more
I thought I
damage.
did it wrong, but no, but yeah.
No, it's good. I just only heard the short sword damage initially.
Sorry.
Sorry. So 8. That's my brain being distracted by seeing if this guy is resistant to the damage, and he is not resistant to that kind of damage. Alrighty. So he's out of doing stuff. So the other guys are gonna try and get close to him and try and hit him if they're doing various things. Some of them will hit, some will not. And this thing is still standing after getting hit many times. Some get pushed away against the wall and that kind of thing. This person goes through the wall but hits the cabinet on the other side and lands on the ground. This person blocks an attack with their shield, but the shield shatters. And we go to the top of the round. Actually, it's the Uptergonga's turn technically now, after all that stuff. So you just hit it with Hunter's Mark, and there's the Shield Maiden there, and I described all that stuff happening anyways. But let's see. Yeah, it's not going to pay much attention to you, Arnu, this time. He's going to walk, and he's going to go in some direction. So let me roll a d4 for that.
Thank God.
2. So he's going to go, 1, 2, this way. And who's going to pick 1, 2, 3 targets? So I'm going to roll a d4. It's going to be Shield Maiden, Reaver, or Volunteer. 1, 2, 3. There's a 4. We won't count that as a 3. That's a 1. So we're going to take a smash at the Shield Maiden. Ooh, that's outside the tray. That's going to hit with the damage. That's going to hit too. So yeah, her shield shatters and she's thrown across this room as well. All right, that's the Uptergonga's turn. Valentino, it is your turn. Your bolt of lightning is somewhere in the entranceway.
Yeah, now just a quick question on that. So it looks like a sustained charge can only target, because it says the target of either Lightning Fury or the other one, but it has to hit first, right, before it can sustained charge can take effect.
If you miss, you can redirect it to make another ranged attack. You just have to use your movement to move it. You supplement your movement for its movement, so you can move it as far as you want it, I think.
Right, but can I do sustained charge, or do I have to do Lightning's Fury first since I haven't actually hit it yet?
Oh yeah, you would have to do the first one to hit it first. So
Okay.
you can't wrap it up yet.
Right. Okay, so I am foregoing my movement to channel my dancing electricity at it again for Lightning's Fury.
Yeah, let me just double check that, because it's been a long time since I read this spell. Because it does say initial target, so it technically was the initial target. So even if it missed, it should still work. Let's see here. Throwing lightning. Sustained charge, 15 feet of movement to wrap it around the initial target or the target of Lightning's Fury. So this is the initial target,
Mm-hmm.
and it's within 15 feet of your movement to wrap it up. It was within 30 feet. So yes, you can technically use sustained charge because this was the initial target.
Okay. And is it still? It's still roll to hit though, right?
With this one, 15 feet of 2 range, I need to make a strength saving throw. Because you're wrapping it up with your lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Oh my. So that is a 5 on the dice. What's your DC? 14?
It says must make a strength saving throw on a failed save. It doesn't say where would it say what the
It would say attack/save 14, and on your character sheet it says. Oh, only if you click on it. Oh no, it should be there. DC.
attack save 14.
Yeah. So I fail with rolling 5 on the dice. That's only a 9. So it's wrapped up by the bolt of lightning.
3d8.
And I take 3d8 lightning damage and then become restrained.
All right, let's go 3d8. Yep, okay. Ooh,
There's
8,
2 hit points left.
2, 3. So 13.
All right, so it had 2 hit points left.
Oh, yeah.
So you deal 13 damage to this thing. But it is still standing. So even though it is wrapped up by the bolts, it is still on its feet.
Maybe it regenerates a certain amount per round or something. There are some undead that do that, aren't there?
Or it's being held up by the lightning.
Oh, don't give
Maybe
yourself that much credit, Valentine.
Please,
Maybe
my
it's
lightning
got
is far
some.
stronger than
It might have some kind of berserk thing. I can't remember whether it was when we were in this group or another group when they had this creature. It just had the extra percentage on top of its standard hit points. Some kind of berserker thing at the end. I don't know if it was this group or another group. Maybe it's like that.
Well, I'm thinking that we have to like shove it in the fire or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it's not going anywhere, so anybody just wants to go boop. Oh, would that be my bonus action? He's close enough. Could I just go smack him into the fire?
It would be your action to.
Yeah.
You can give it a smack, but it would be your action to try and shove him.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to just smack him. That's just mean. I just want to set him on fire and burn him to death.
Yeah. All right. Would you like to move anywhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a strategic repositioning. Oops.
Yes. Yeah, he totally misses the attack. He's restrained. All right. So at the end of your turn, he's going to take his legendary action to try and break free.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as he gets wrapped up in this bolt, he takes a ton of lightning damage, but he breaks free from the lightning bolt wrapped around him. That's all it can do. And Verdun, you are up.
Oh, can't hear you, buddy.
Yep.
There you go.
Even though I'm not the strongest character here, I'm gonna make a risky play.
Nice.
I'm gonna move up to him. I'm gonna try to shove him into the giant fire pit.
Nice.
Okay, so you're not using your fire spells. You're just going to try and shove him into the pit.
Yes.
All right. So
Sure.
that would be a contested strength check. So your strength against this creature's strength.
Oh boy. Dig deep. Dig deep.
15?
Nice.
Or is it just like my raw strength?
It'd be your athletics.
Oh, athletic. Oh, okay. Never mind. Athletics. Eight.
So 8 does not beat his 13. I was very excited when you said 15.
I was too.
What the heck did you roll? It's just a straight roll. Oh, we'll take the first check and we'll just use your athletics instead, which I think is the same. So
Yeah, it is the same.
yeah, so it was the 15, which beats out his 13.
Nice.
So with the lightning wrapped around it, and he's just ripped the lightning bolts free, we take that opportunity to shove him in when he's at its most exploitative opportunity, and it lands in the fire, and its head lands first, and that's the first thing to be roasted. And he's going to take the minimum fire damage, which kills it. And that is the end of the manga so far.
So I'm guessing the same effect if he had just shot a fireball at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right, Valentine. Just the hard way, buddy. The hard way.
I mean, I shot a scorching
Well, it
ray at
was-
him.
You did. Well, it has a trait that I called Undead Resilience. Homebrew trait. If damage reduces the Upthaganga to 0 hit points, unless the damage is radiant, fire, or from a critical hit, it doesn't die and keeps on moving and taking actions as normal.
I just wanted to do it the flashy way.
Right, yeah, no, absolutely. Well, to be fair, your magic, fire magic, has not been the most effective. So I can understand you wanting to rely on much bigger fire.
All right. But he's on the outside of the fire. Only part of it's in the flame. So out of that, the berserker says, "Someone help me! Pick it up, throw it in. It's going to take all of us."
Come and help. Yep. Come and help.
Alrighty. So I need each of you to make a group. It's going to be anyone who wants to help lift a group strength check. And I'll roll for the berserker. Ew. Yeah, he just got thrown across the room as he came to consciousness, so he's not doing great on the strength.
I'll have a go. So, what are we doing a strength check?
Somehow Verdan is
Oh, wait.
feeling very strong today. No, sorry. It'll be athletics if that's better for any of you.
I rolled 11 just to check if there's any bonus on mine or not. +3, so that's 14.
So 14 plus. Is that a 3 plus 3?
Yeah, it was 11 +3, so it's 14.
Okay. You guys reached the 30 DC requirement. And you managed to all hoist this thing up and toss it into the fire proper. As you're doing so, Verdan, you've been in this culture for a little bit of time. Go ahead and make an Arcana check, just real quick.
Another 18.
Nice. So, you recall a story, a little saga that you once read around the equivalent of the October months, where certain festivals would happen. And you recall this saga about an Aptaganga who had all 4 requirements to become one. He was disappointed in his son. He passed away in his own hole, sitting upright with his eyes open. And in that story, it was described that the Aptaganga was buried without being burned, and it rose up again, still alive, even though the grave was checked on weeks later. It just was completely fine. The only thing that managed to kill this thing is burning it and to ash and then scattering its ashes on the wind. So it seems to fully defeat this creature, its ashes need to be scattered to the breeze. But you have started doing that process. But that's why fire didn't work before on its own.
We got to kick its ash.
And you did. And end combat. Excellent. Well, the berserker stands up and he's like, "All right, does anyone know how we can fully get rid of this thing?"
Yeah, so then Verdan says, we have to burn it down to ashes and spread these ashes through the wind.
Gotcha. All right, well, no one breathe them in. All right, well, thank you very much for your assistance. I know He looks at you, Verdun. It was you, now, who burned this creature. And next time, just ask us. We were waiting to see if he would turn, because death has been a little bit weird lately. But you are forgiven for trying to do something that you thought was the right thing. So no hard feelings, and he claps you on the back real hard.
You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, so I start failing the strength checks.
All right. Well, you're welcome to stay here. It is very early in the morning, but we're not going to sleep now until we know that thing is reduced to ash. So, you're welcome to stay and feast with us. And are you guys going to stay, or are you going to go back to the tavern?
I mean, the smell of rotting zombie flesh does really pique the appetite, I will say.
I think go back to the tavern. I don't really want to sit there smelling rotten zombie.
Well, we came here for the... I'm not saying this out loud for everyone to hear, but I'm like, but we came here to get the freaking egg. Don't we want to get the egg before we get out of here?
We don't know where it is, do we?
You're also going to sleep.
Somewhere in here.
It is 1 a.m.
I mean, do we really want to find it and take it out with witnesses?
You do recall one of the wizard's entries was specifically about how, well, luckily the location hasn't been revealed again, but if the egg was out in the open and people knew about it, yes, it might be locked up in the tower, but people have a means of still acquiring things that are hard to get to. So the risk of knowing where it is, even by more people, may be enough to pose a danger to people acquiring it. Pose a danger because people may acquire it. That being said, the Yarskona, like I said, is asleep, so you don't know where it is unless you want to go searching for it on your own.
Well, my
But
only thought
want
is, I mean, there are people around, but they're hardly. I mean, they're very preoccupied with. I mean, the building just got torn down. There's fire all over the place. I mean, I think if we were going to abscond with it, we wouldn't necessarily be terribly. I don't know whether it would be noticed, but if we don't know where it is, then we're just literally going to be looking around for hours and hours. So maybe it's. But she doesn't know where it is either. She couldn't remember. She didn't know if it was in the tower or where. So I don't know that we're going to have a better luck with her becoming conscious again. But if we want to wait, then that's not a problem. But we don't have to go to the tomb until tomorrow. Or no.
Oh, do we really want to be taking this thing into the tomb with us? I mean, that could be a bad combination, couldn't it?
No, we're not. No. I was thinking we take it back to the tower. That's what I was thinking. But because we've got to go inside that woman's head, and then after that we got to go to the tomb. Right? Is that what the order of operation? So we want to do that first, and then go tomb.
Well, I think her knowledge would be useful. I mean, the tomb is the thing that's kind of where all this stuff's come from.
Right.
Yes. I will also remind that the wizard is still missing within his own orb world.
And we've got to find a way to repair the orb as well before the ward falls.
Maybe investigating the Featherwood.
Wasn't there something in the Featherwood which we there's some creature in there?
Yeah, you heard
Yeah.
low lumbering footsteps. And a deer was staring at you as you walked by.
Deers. We don't want to mess with the deers, folks.
And there's the hags as well.
Yep, there's the hags.
We don't know exactly where they are yet, do we?
No, one of them is in the mountains. You know one of them is in a place called the Hinterwoods, a region of unexplored, for the most part, unexplored forest. And then the third one is unknown. But just letting you know of other things you can do as well. But you're welcome to try and find a way to the tomb. You know that the ward is preventing entryway directly, so you're going to have to find where the Death Weaver exits and comes back if you want to find a way into the tomb. But you're welcome to head back to the tavern to take a short rest.
Might not be the worst idea.
Seems a good move. We could have something to eat and drink as well.
All right. So as you make your way back to the tavern, deciding what to do next course of action. Do we try and find the egg? Do we not? Do we go to the tomb now? Do we wait? Bunch of thoughts going through your heads as you make your way back to the tavern. You go inside. Favriel is no longer there. He has gone to his bridge. And as you settle in for a very early breakfast, that is where we will end the session.